G'day, legends. Welcome back to another episode of the Butcher's Bible Podcast. I am your host, Ant, and today's guest is Brad Birkedal. Enjoy.
All right, Dave, how are ya?
Good, good. How's it going?
Yeah, good, mate. Fucking can't complain. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. It's good. Been excited about this for a while.
Yes, I was like, I know Brad wants to come on. I want to fucking talk to him anyway. You guys got such a great story and background, and you're an absolute legend in my eyes. And Dave Corbett and all those. Are you at work still?
Yeah. It's, Saturday, so just kicking in the office after closing down. So
Dedicated to the cause, mate. Have you got?
well, I pretty much just live here now. I just sleep at home, so
Yeah, exactly. I'm surprised you haven't got your own cot in the office and just, set an alarm, lay down, wake back up.
yeah. I just sleep at the table.
My neck's kind of sore, mate. You got to crack it out.
Here, just put a rump roast and sleep on it.
Yeah. Well, that would work because the size of the beast that you have as well would be more cushioning because it's just the marbling.
nice and plump.
Yeah. What is it? The memory foam pillows.
Yeah.
Yeah, but instead of that, you got the chuck roast. It's so soft. I think we just thought of something as well. We should make a pillow brand and call it the chuck roll.
There you go. There you go. One of those body pillows, get the whole brisket roll.
Oh, damn. Look, we're on a roll already. No one steal that. TM and that.
Marketed.
Right, man. Before we start anyway, man, please introduce yourself, legend.
So I'm Brad Birkedal. I am the new owner of Armour's Meats. I'm the exclusive butcher of Birdshill Wagyu. And I've been butchering for about 15 years or so. Been doing the Wagyu for just over 3. And I do game cutting and all sorts of stuff. I used to have a game cutting business. So I did that for about 10 or 12 years. And yeah, man, just slanging and banging anytime I can, cutting meat all the time.
That game business when
Yep.
What was it last Christmas or the Christmas before, where you would what were you doing, like 3 hours of sleep or something stupid, up at like 1 or 2 in the morning and
Yeah. When I slept, yeah. So I'd be up at about 5:30 in the morning, get ready, take the kids off to daycare, work all day at the butcher shop, pick the kids up, bed, bath, whatever, and then I would cut from 8 o'clock at night until about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So some nights I didn't sleep, just cutting as I could. So it was Halloween candies and coffee were the diet.
that was it, wasn't it? I was going to say the diet was not good.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it was, but I got in a real good habit of timing when I was going to fall asleep while I was working on the table, and how many beer I could get done in an evening. So I was, I don't know if that's something I should brag about. My wife's not too keen on it, but I'm out in the garage with the baby monitor watching the kids cutting deer until 3 o'clock in the morning. So
That's wild, that. Yeah, because you were sending me like the videos and then memes and everything. I was looking at the time. I was like, oh, it was only like an hour ago. Like we're 5 hours apart. Like what the fuck is going on?
yeah,
And you're like processing all this game and everything. I was like, that's cool, man. That is real cool.
yeah, it was a good time. I did quite a bit. I did quite a bit last year. But I don't know. It's one of those things like you just love it. You're like, it's like your body hates it and you're tired and you're like, oh, I need to get finished with this, but you just love it. It's like the adrenaline, the unknown, I guess, is the exciting part, right? You're like, I don't know how many I'm gonna get. I don't know how many I'm gonna get through. And it's just, I don't know, you meet so many interesting people and you're providing a service that not a lot of people do anymore. And not a lot of shops around here do it. Like people don't really do game in butcher shops because you can't run them both in the same day or the same shop. So for me, I really liked being able to offer that to people. And it kind of goes back to a little bit of my origins of cutting meat. Because like I just started in the grocery store doing a bunch of box meat.
Yeah. Yeah, take us
So
back,
for
mate.
me,
Paint us the picture. Tell
Yeah,
us, tell us.
yeah,
Sorry, I went on.
a
I just
long,
wanted to
long
know about the
time
game.
ago. When I was a young man. Yeah, so when I first started cutting meat, it was like kind of by accident. I was actually in university to be a teacher, and I used to work construction, and I couldn't do construction the same hours that I was doing my schooling.
Mm,
So I had a buddy that worked at kind of a grocery store. They said that they were looking for part time, and so I said, okay, well, I'll go in, and I just worked a couple afternoons after school, kind of thing. And I liked it. Like I liked to cook, and I liked to feed people and talk to people, and I liked being creative and learning stuff. Um,
mm,
so it worked out real well. And then teaching jobs were there was too many teachers for the amount of jobs available, so I had no job security there, and I thought, okay, well, I like this butchering thing. I can kind of do it. Like I'll just see how it goes, and I just kind of fell into it, and I started really enjoying it after about 3 months. Was like, okay, like I know what I'm doing. I'm confident. They wanted to move me up in the company and make me into management. I was like, okay, I could roll with this.
mm,
Um, and then I fell into it hard. Like any hour I had, I was in work. I was trying to learn. I was asking head office. I was like, send me more stuff. Like, what can I do? What can I do? So at about 9 months, I became a manager of a store. And then at about 11 months, they had me running two stores and had me like opening stores for them or running between two different stores. I was working like 110 hours a week.
mm.
Cool.
I was just anything, and I was like 19. So
Yeah.
like I was just like, I'm the man. I'm doing all this, and then so you just don't have anything else to do. It was like it was my life. And then I had a
Mm,
guy at work that he had a bunch of hunter buddies, and he would go cut deer for. And I was like, hey man, could I come watch? Like, could I come be a part of it? And he's like, yeah, you bet. So that to me was like the first opportunity that I got to cut carcass, because everything else was just you open a box and you cut your portion cuts or whatever, or the most I would get would be like fish filleting, and like I'd get a whole fish, and so I would, you know, fillet out the fish and clean them up,
mm,
or cut down whole chickens and stuff. There was not like I didn't get hips of beef. There was no big primals or anything to work on. So the deer was that first introduction into like true butchery. So I would go with him for free. I'd offer to drive. Like I paid him to take me to go cut deer,
mm.
which looking at that now, I'm like, you big idiot. But
You're
I
dedicated
want,
to the cause. You're thirsty for
I,
knowledge. You want it all.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, it really drove me into it. And that was like, okay, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. Like, I want to do this. And so I signed up. I used to live in BC, and there you have a school that you would go to full time. So it was a 9 month course. You lived on campus. You went to school 5 days a week. 4 days a week you were cutting in the classroom in the butcher class. So you'd break down all sorts of animals. You'd make pepperoni, sausages, fish, chicken, like the whole gambit. And then on the fifth day, you were in the classroom doing business, math, sciences, going through your whole slides and projectors and stuff.
Yeah.
So I really learned the entire scope of things. And I really appreciate the time and the schooling that I got for that, because it gave me an awful lot of knowledge, far more than you need on a daily basis. But I'd rather
Mm,
have the knowledge and not need all of it than constantly be like, oh, I don't know what this is, or I don't know what to do.
mm,
Like it's that dying trade that I want to pass on to the next generation, and I want to be able to pass on to customers and people, and affect their life in a positive way that way. I don't want somebody to come in and I just like chop stuff with a cleaver and say, here's meat, go cook meat.
mm.
Like
Yeah.
I love all the aspects of it, and so it was very beneficial for me.
Where did the idea for being a teacher come from? Was that something in your family that they do?
No. So my dad was an electrician, and I was on the tools with him since I was like 8.
Mm,
So I always thought that I was going to be in construction, and I worked with my dad for like 10 years, to the point where like at 15, 16 years old, I was running crews of 40-year-old men, driving trucks around and telling them what to do on the job site and set stuff up. And I liked it, and I was good at it, but it wasn't something that I woke up every day and wanted to do.
mm,
Um, but when I thought about, I had a history teacher in high school, and I really liked him, and I liked the way that he taught, and I kind of liked that lifestyle of like you work during the day, you have the summers off, you teach something that you're interested about. So I liked art, I liked history. So I was like, well, fuck, I can just paint all day and teach people about history. And like, I was really into that stuff. And at the time I thought, well, who the fuck wouldn't want to listen to me? But, so I don't know. It was just like, I, I, I've always had this mentality of I want to pass things on to people. I want to not necessarily like I don't need to be important, but I want to serve a purpose in life and I want to be able to help others in some fashion, right? And if I can teach them something or impart wisdom or inspiration on their life, or if I can better somebody else's life or help them improve
Mm.
things in their life, that's always been a goal of mine. And I guess that field goal just kind of changed from schoolwork to butchery.
It translates pretty well. And,
Yeah.
and especially if you've really got that like that teacher presence as well, like, and you can translate it across what you know to, let's say, your new staff members. They're going to be more engaged. You're not just running through these random bits and pieces, especially when it comes to teaching. It has to be really thoroughly planned, I guess, to a degree, without showing them too many of your shortcuts in a way, or
Yeah.
this is the right way to seam or bone out, or whatever the area may be. Simple things like doing sausages, very easy to articulate, but
Yeah.
easy to get fucking wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
And some of it is like you're just going to have to learn as you go. Like I can tell you all the things and you can read all the books or watch all the YouTube videos or whatever. But until you
Mm.
get your hands in there, you don't know like how much tension to put on that casing, or you don't know how it feels to get your knife through the seam versus the fat versus
Mm.
so there are aspects people have to learn by themselves, but I like at least being a bit of a guiding hand on that, or at least
Mm.
a sounding wall of if somebody doesn't have comfort in it and they go, how should I, or what should I, or whatever. I like being able to ease them into that and give them that confidence.
Yeah, 100%. And it's also, like I said with Aaron last week, I was just like, praise. Like people aren't going to have the confidence, especially, and it's taking the new generation like us, like, because you're a father, I'm a father, and like passing that on, but also giving them praise. They might have fucked up, not holding the skin right, and it would have burst out to the side, but saying,
Yeah.
no, that's easy, keep going, praise, praise, praise. And it encourages and keeps running down the next line. Like you want to pursue, and what you said earlier.
Yeah, yeah, and I agree with that because I mean I don't know about your upbringing of work and whatnot, but when I was a kid, like if you made a mistake, you usually got shit on for it, right? And so there's running that fine line of it's okay to make mistakes. Don't worry about
Mm.
it. We'll fix it. And letting somebody just like, oh well, you can make as many mistakes as you want, and I'll never fire you, kind of thing. Like you run that fine line, but um, giving them a little bit of encouragement and praise of it's okay, you can make a mistake and you can keep going, and I'll teach you to not make those mistakes, but not coming down hard on them where like if you
That's
make
cost
one.
me money, fuck
Yeah,
you,
you
rah
kicked
rah.
out the door and never you're like you're not cut out for this. See you later. Like kicked
Mm.
out for the day. Um, yeah, I think like you said is that the newer generation you kind of need that.
Mm. We need them more than ever, but
Yeah,
there is a big trend of being influencers and like all these other random aspects that you and I, because we're like 90s, and we were like, we're older than the internet, we're fucking older than the PlayStation and Xbox and all these other things. Wonder how
yeah.
Dave Corbett feels. He's fucking
Shut up,
if
Dave.
he's but it may, because like all of it is now online, and it's like the presence and the money and all that. I get it, but you
Yeah,
haven't really got a skill per se, you know. Like unless people like us, like you construction for the old man Benelecki, us as butchers, these are trades, very old trades, one of the oldest in the world, and
yeah,
it's um it's actually something we can physically do and wake up and get fired up for. Like
yeah.
I know when I wake up these days, I'm like, oh, it's Tuesday, gotta stretch, dust the cobwebs off, getting
I
fucking
was gonna
old.
say,
Yeah.
oh, that first wake up in the morning is like, oh yeah, my joints.
Yeah, and especially in the dead of winter as well, because your winters are fucking horrendous. Like they're negatives. Like with snow and everything, where ours is just windy and wet, and you're just like, oh,
It's the wind that'll get you. Yeah, 6 feet of snow is
yeah.
good to
Yes, 6 feet of snow, and that's real snow as well. So you're like, I would be fine with it if it was snows here consistently, but it's just that wind and wet, and it's
It's
just
just gross.
it's,
It's that slush.
it's gross. Yeah, and
Like
I'm just like,
get
I'm not
wet and
down
you
for
get
it.
that wind, and now you're like, nah, I'm soaked through and I'm cold and I don't want to move.
Mm.
Yeah,
I know you had to take like 10 meters from my car to the front door, and I'm fucking soaked. I'm over today already.
well, come over for winter, man. I'll put you up in the house. You can have a real snow.
Yeah, I want to experience that. Also, I'll be out in the backyard all the time, mate, building the snowmen and everything as well. I fucking
There you
love
go.
it. You'll be like, come back inside, and I'm like, no, we're
I'll be
putting
like, "Where's
snow
it?"
in
And there'll be a whole igloo in the backyard built.
it. Did the kids even go to school today? Nah, man, they've been in the back with that.
He's like, "We're fighting the snowman. They can't go."
Yeah, man. That'll be really nice to see proper big snow winter like that because I've only seen it when I went skiing for the first time in France, like I
Okay.
don't know, 10, 11 years, and just seeing like mountains of it,
Yeah.
and mountains, and it's just like, oh, it's like negative 15 or 20 or whatever, and it's just
Yeah.
pure white snow everywhere, and I'm just like, it's hot because the sun's out as well. I'm just like, fucking hell, like, yeah, you end up just having like a small jumper on, and you got your goggles and your skis on, but that's like really the only time I've ever seen like that amount of snow.
Yeah.
But but the winter in the UK can go fuck itself. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just went off on a tangent there.
You're like, that's how I feel about snow. Anyway.
Anyway, back to you, sir.
uh, well, yeah, I don't know, man.
So you went to the supermarket,
Teaching stuff. Yeah, it was
and
kind
then
of like a little chain thing. And then I was there for a couple of years. I was there for about 3, 4 years, and then I went off to butcher school. Um, and I was there for about 9 months. And then when I left there, I was like, okay, I need to go work in a prop shop. Like I need to find a full carcass cutting. Like I know what I'm doing now. I need it. And so I
mm,
started working at this place called Hot Dots, and I was there for 5 years, and it was great. It was a humongous facility. They had 3 farms that they owned that they supplied themselves. They were self sufficient on beef. They brought in pork, they brought in chicken. They had a full bistro, they had a full smokehouse like kind of operation. So they made all their smoke products. They had groceries. There's a 17,000 square foot facility, 100 employees. It was huge.
mm.
We would process at the height of things right before I left. We were processing 25 beef a week, like full carcass, right all the way to retail, and selling
Wow,
out. And they were like 1,100 to 1,400 pounds a carcass.
whoa,
Huge. So
huge.
huge, huge, huge.
Whoa.
These were like corn fed, like they were fucking beasts. Um,
Do you know what breed at all?
they were mostly Angus.
Yeah,
Um,
fun.
but they
Most
were
versatile.
it was great, man. Like it was a great place to learn because there were so many different departments, and you could just do so much and as much as you wanted to get into. So like that was perfect for me coming straight from school and wanting to get into it. That I started working in like the deli department. So I'd make the hams and the pepperonis and the jerkies and all that stuff, and then I would get some room in the cutting room, and I would start cutting chickens and pork, and then they finally got me on the table, and then I started breaking. And
Mm.
yeah, by the time I left there after 5 years, I was butchering full time, and I was the retail department manager. So I was running about 50 employees, plus working in the butcher department. Plus, at the time, I had started my own game cutting business back in BC.
Mm.
I built a cooler in my dad's warehouse. Um,
Nice.
so I was working 7 days a week, 17 hours a day for about 6 months of the year, and it was good. It was a good time. I got myself out of some school debt with the game cutting. Um, I would work about 5 or 6 days a week at the big butcher shop. I would get off work at 5, drive 30 minutes to go to my warehouse and work from about 5:30 until 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I would drive home, get up, do it all over again. So nothing has changed. I haven't learned anything. I still do all the same shit. Um,
Yeah.
it's
Mm.
just now I'm older.
With the
um,
with the facility, you said because it had multiple bits and pieces to it. Like, did it have like a sausage room? Did it have like a slaughterhouse area, or is it like just the boning room and chicken
so
room and
it was like a full hanging cooler, and they had like the full butcher room, and then the front retail. They had a sausage room. They had a big smokehouse.
mm.
They had a kitchen. They had a bistro. Um,
Big
over
place?
was that
Big place.
huge place? Yeah.
Yeah.
So they didn't have like an abattoir or a slaughterhouse in BC. They don't have slaughterhouses attached to butcher shops. It was
Mm.
usually like have one large slaughterhouse that would slaughter for like 10 or 15 butcher shops. So those would be just with the licensing and the amount that they would go through. So they
Mm.
would slaughter and bring our beef to us. And that's something that's been different than since I moved over to the East Coast is that almost every butcher shop has an abattoir attached. And
Yeah.
most of the places are like small mom and pop places. They have the abattoir, they slaughter, they custom cut, and they might have like a little display case or something, whatever. Or they'll just be a retail shop. They won't have the abattoir and the full butcher room. They'll just be they just bring stuff in and have a little retail shop. Um,
Yeah.
but since I've been here, so I left Dad's place after 5 years because I met my now wife, and she was from the East Coast. So she tagged me, back me, and brought me back home to mom. And it was a good move. Smart lady. Smart
Yeah.
lady.
At least yours
Um,
didn't drag you across the other side of the world.
yeah, well, yeah, it's close. It was different for you, but it's weird. We have so much in common.
I love it. It's good. We have
we're,
so
we're,
much in
these,
common.
we're these big, tall blokes that get like dragged back by these tiny little ladies.
God, yeah, I'm terrified of mine. I'm sure
Yeah,
you
oh,
are.
yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. She's short, but she'll beat the shit out of me.
Oh, yeah. She bites. She scratches.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Fights dirty.
yeah. um, But yeah, so I mean, we moved like 2 weeks before COVID shut everything down. So we moved over to the East Coast, everything shut down, and I ended up getting a job at like a little mom and pop place. They had their own farm. We went through when I first started working there. They were going through about 5 beef a week, and they were just doing custom cutting for local farmers. Did
Yeah.
one beef a week for their own stuff. And I worked there for about 2 years. And by the time I left, we were up to about 10 or 11 beef a week.
That's
Had a
good.
lot more farmers. We were cranking through, but it was just me. I was everything. So I did start to finish with them. I did all the wrapping, did all the cutting, all the breaking, packaged everything. And it was just me and these two 70-year-old couple. Uh,
Mm.
Super great, lovely couple. But then they got to the point where they were looking to like start slowing down, and they were like, well, we're probably going to start just going to doing farming and shutting things down. So it's up to you if you want to come work at the farm, or we wouldn't be upset if you want to go somewhere else. And so, I mean, I had my kids had just been born, so I was like, no, like I can't work at a farm. I gotta go find another butcher job. I appreciate it.
Mm.
Um, so then I started working for a retail store in the city, and that was bananas. Um,
City lab, baby.
that was bananas. So it was like a high end retail shop,
Mm.
but they had their own smoke, like their own smoker. It was like one of those big propane tank pellet smoker things.
Yep, 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 yep.
So running one of those, did a full. So I did the smoke program, the charcuterie program, the butcher, the fishmongering, and I was in the kitchen with them and doing the customer retail, and then also managing. So it was too many hats, and
Mm.
that job took a toll on my life. That was a lot. I was doing 60 hours a week minimum. I was like 15-hour days. Never got holidays, never got weekends. I was never really home for my kids when they were little, and it just caused a lot of friction with my personal life. There was no work life balance like that.
Mm.
It did not exist. It wasn't even like you park and you go home. It was like I'm going to call you every hour of the day, and if something goes wrong when you're not here, I expect you to still drive here. And it was crazy. it was cool because I had full creative freedom, and that's why I
Mm.
stayed so long. I was there for about 2 years.
Mm.
And it was like anything I thought of, like any sausage I wanted to make, I could make. Anything I wanted to come up with, any program I wanted to do, any animal I wanted to bring, anything. It was like, okay, do what you want as long as it makes money. So I got to test out a lot of stuff, and that was super cool. But then, I mean, it wrecked the rest of my life. I wasn't sleeping. I was stressed all the time. I dropped a ton of weight. Um, yeah, I got really heavy into the alcohol, and it kind of tore me apart. And then I missed a lot of time with my kids when they were first young because I woke up and I left the house before they were awake, and I got home after they were in bed, and
Mm.
I was never there for holidays. And growing up, my dad built his own business. And so I was used to, dad goes to work, he's always gone and it works. But it was something that I just didn't want to repeat with my own kids. Like I very much admire my dad for doing that and taking care of the family when he did. Um, but that was something that for me as a dad, and I'm sure for you, is that you want to spend that time with your kid, right? You
Mm.
want to be there and you want to be present and kind of change that generational thing of, I want to be a dad that's around. I want to be a dad that has time and has holidays. And like, I'm not just show up at bedtime and give you a kiss and then I pass out on the couch because I'm so tired.
Yeah.
And I don't have a good work life balance. I never have. It's just I was always brought up that like you work
Work,
and you
work,
work.
work.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, like you just always work, and if you can work, you work, and if you can't work, you work.
If you're not
So
pooping, you're working.
and even when you're pooping, you should be working.
You
Like
should be.
that's paperwork time. That's where you eat your lunch, you eat your sandwich in the porter potty.
Yeah, man.
So always bring snacks to the toilet.
Always. That's why I got
Always.
pockets of meat. That's why I got
In and out.
pockets full of snacks.
Yeah,
Like,
in and out at the same time. Does this ever taste like shit? Like,
these Skittles smell really weird.
yeah, why do my hands smell like this?
That's good. That there's paperwork time when you're on the toilet.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
efficiency in covering all areas in one go.
right. You only have so many hours in the day, so you got to use them. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
I couldn't agree more with you, Brad. Especially when it comes to the family time, father time. Because my stepfather used to work nights, so by the time I got up for work, he was already asleep.
yeah,
So he wasn't even out. Like it wasn't. He was there, but you couldn't do anything because he was passed out.
yeah.
And it's different. You get to see him like, oh yeah, there's no conversation, so you might as well not be there. But now my daughter's turned 2, and now she's walking. There's so much back chat. It's unreal. I'm just like, when
Yeah.
did
two
when did
two
this?
going on 20.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Just steaming around the house like, "Meow." I'm just like, what happened? Like you went from this soft, squishy little snuggly thing to now just this full-time menace.
You are a
And
little tank,
yeah,
and then you tell me to change your diapers.
yeah, because she does sign language as well. But like sign language, she's like, dada, and you're just like, really? Did you just do another one? She's like, come on.
And
Oh,
you're like, that is 10. It is only 9 o'clock in the morning.
yeah, that's the third one in the morning.
Yeah.
Should we go outside? No. It's just no, 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 no to everything. But I'm like,
No.
but if you say no,
Yeah.
it's still a yes. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
And
And
you
how?
you are wrapped around your little girl's finger. It's the same with me and my
Mm.
daughter. I mean, I got my two kids they're just over 4. They're not quite 4.5. And yeah, my daughter's got the eye roll down pat. And she's got like this
Really?
fast and she knows like her comedic timing is outrageous. But she knows she's got dad wrapped around her finger. And
Yeah.
my son's a big goofball, but he's definitely a mama's boy, but he's a goofball and he's a smart kid, but yeah, it's crazy. It's
Mm.
crazy how they grow and how you see them but yeah, like you said, I mean, like with your kids is that, now you see them go through those stages and they go through them so quickly, especially like with your daughter being so young at 2 is like every week something is new.
Yeah.
So if you miss that week or if you miss that one thing, it's like, oh man, I missed that. Like
Mm.
I don't get that back. It's not like, they draw a picture and you draw another picture. It's like, oh, like, I don't want to miss you walking, or I don't want to miss you your first time potty training, or I don't want to miss your birthday, or like your first Christmas and stuff like that. Yeah. So there was a lot of guilt about missing those events or certain things for my kids, and that I try to be as present in their lives as possible. And obviously now in my new role running a shop, is there's you have to be here for a certain amount of hours to make things work.
Mm.
But you also have to have that separation of like, I can't only be here. Like, I need to be at home too.
Yeah. So tell me this. So because now you've got a new like you've got your shop now, and then how are you finding the work-life balance now? Because I know, especially with being very connected with the mobiles and that, are you putting that to the side? Because that seems to be my biggest challenge personally, is just putting my phone down to spend and be engaged. Like, how are you finding all of that now?
Um, I think for me, the phone thing, like, I'm not as present on social media or on my phone as much as I used to be, because I'm trying to draw a line of like, I'm
Mm,
here in the shop 6 days a week. Um, so when I'm home, I have to be home. And
mm.
I would say the first month of running the shop, I was doing 6 days a week in the shop, but then I would go home and we would do bedtime. And as soon as the kids went to bed, it was like, okay, go to bed because Dad's got work. And then I would get on the computer or whatever, and I'd be doing paperwork until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Trying to find
And
Kevin.
trying to find Kevin. I still haven't called Kevin.
That's the greatest video I've seen in this year.
Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah. So yeah.
Sorry.
Reference, call Kevin.
Yeah. No number? It was a
No,
number.
no, nothing. Just, you should know that. Everyone knows Kevin.
We all know Kevin.
I'm not from around here, man. Yeah, I live in a small town now. Like, when I grew
Mm,
up in BC, coming from BC to the East Coast, I was already like, oh, this is small town. And I lived in like big city.
mm.
And big city was like, I don't know, 100,000 people. And
Big.
now, wow, yeah. But then I'm out here now, and I think we have like 1,500 people in this town.
1,500
So like,
plus Kevin.
plus Kevin is the only one in that 1,500 that matters. It's Kevin plus 1,500.
we, we,
Where do you live? In
we
Kevin's town.
Kevin's that. Right.
Hey,
He's a good bloke.
how close do you live to Kevin? Oh, about 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly right. How is Kevin? Yeah, he's good, man.
Yeah, good. Kevin's Kevin.
God damn, it's wild. That was the best video I saw. Was like, I gotta show the people at work this. This is fucking brilliant.
It was one of those, like, I was reading through and I was just like, no. Like, what?
Yeah, this is brilliant.
Uh,
So,
my favorite was still like reference, or in the like work related, is like, I did lots of shredded cheeses, not just one. I shredded all sorts of cheeses.
here's a list: Gouda,
Yeah, yeah.
mozzarella.
Even that sharp cheddar, the hard stuff. I was the man. That was me. That was me.
Fucking hell. That was someone's applicant, wasn't it, for a butchery experience,
I was
wasn't it?
Yeah, I was looking for an apprentice butcher, and I got a ton of applicants the first week,
Mm.
and but not a lot of people that had butcher experience. So people were just trying to find things that were related. Which, I mean, good on you. Sometimes you don't have the experience, and I'm not opposed to people not having experience, because sometimes bad habits are worse than no habits.
Yeah.
But yeah, just what people put on their resumes. It's like, you always try and zhuzh it up a little bit. So like, if somebody is changing light bulbs at work, they're the electrician, or like, your work related things of like, any of my experiences. So yeah, the shredded cheeses, and yeah, there
Kevin.
was there was some good, yeah. What is your reference? Call Kevin. No number,
Yeah.
no last name, no company, nothing. Just call Kevin.
Um, that
That's gonna live in my head forever, man.
That it lives rent free to this day, man. Some like if I'm
That
driving.
that that might even be in my obituary, where it's just like, and I'd like to thank Kevin.
We'll never find out who Kevin is. We'll never
I
find out.
I really want to put out like an ad on social media or in the newspaper or something like, "Have you seen Kevin? Kevin, please call this number." And then like just wait
Kevin,
for how many Kevins call me and be like, "Are you Kevin?"
yeah.
I have
Do
to
you
put
know
the
this
Where's
bloke who?
Waldo.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, that'd be so much fun. You could really make something of that. That'd be fun.
I got to do it. And whoever finds the Kevin, I'm gonna give like a free steak or something too. It's like you get a free Wagyu steak for finding Kevin.
Nice. Oh man, that'd be absolutely insane. I would love that. That'd be really good. That'd be really good, like prime time TV.
There you go. Hey, 6 o'clock news, missing person. Have you seen Kevin?
Last seen in this area, Kevin Town.
Yeah, in Kevin's town.
Yeah. The I always thought like when you apply to be an apprentice of or like you haven't got experience but you're willing to learn, isn't that what like the front um like what's it called? The cover letter that you send? Like usually you put in like I haven't got experience in this, willing to learn, got ADHD, happy to lock in,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what mine used to say.
Yeah, happy to lock in.
Yeah, that was it. Just
Just
fired up.
touch of the tism can put me on tasks.
Super loud noises, absolutely fine. No
Yeah, yeah,
earmuffs from
yeah.
me, please.
Have
Mm.
all 9 fingers willing to learn.
Not good with maths either, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't put me on the till. Cannot
But
count.
yeah, perfect butcher then.
Yeah, yeah. Really good at standing.
Cheese, my
Cheese,
forte.
cheese shredded.
Fuck that slice shit. We're out. Fucking hell, it's escalated really quickly. I love it.
We went way off topic.
But yeah,
But yeah, so I mean,
tell us about the shop now. Tell us the new shop, where you are,
the new
what do you
shop.
do?
So
Mm.
where am I now? I have been cutting. So I've been cutting Wagyu exclusively for Birdshill for about 3 years now. I was doing it at another shop where I was just the butcher there, and um, I guess a little backstory on that is when I was at that shop in the city, I had met somebody who was very into food, got along super well. We became instant best friends. Carl, shout out Carl. Um,
Ain't Kevin.
Carl Kevin. So, Kevin, we got to get like the Home Alone.
Oh, that's
Cut it, splice it.
yeah, boss.
Not the real. That's it. That's done. Um, but yeah, so my buddy Carl found this Wagyu place here, and they were boasting that they were the only full blood Wagyu in Atlantic, Canada. And I was like, there's a lot of people that claim they're Wagyu, and they're not like a full Wagyu. They're like a crossbreed or whatever. That's a big thing over here is that there's not a lot of like full blood. They're like an F1, they're a crossbreed or something like that, but they'll still market it as Wagyu. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna give these people a shout and see if they're legit. Like, do Carl a favor and make sure that he's not getting ripped off or whatever, because he likes food and wants to know what he's doing, and he's also a very lovable guy, so he'll give people a chance. So I was like, no, nobody's gonna take advice. Like, nobody's gonna take advantage of Carl. So I emailed him this like 20 questionnaire, like, do you know what you're talking about, and are you full of shit? And so the lady Jess, she got back to me. She's the president. She was like, I've never been grilled like this in my entire life.
Wow.
And she like, answered the best you could. And I was like, oh, they're good. They know what they're doing. They're okay. Like, they're legit. They're honest people. And about 2 weeks later, I got a call from Jess, and she was like, hey, we're actually looking for a new butcher. Some things happened. We weren't really happy with our last butcher. Long story short, they threw the tenderloin, the ribeye, and the strip loin in the grinder. So we need a new butcher. And I was like, oh, shit. Okay. Yeah. And they were like, we have this restaurant that wants to purchase a side of our Wagyu, and they want a butcher to come to the restaurant and cut it in front of them and do a demonstration so they can have like a Wagyu week and do a big menu. Would you do that for us? And I was like, you bet I would. Like, that sounds like a fantastic time. And they're like, and then on the other side, would you cut that for us for retail stuff so that we can sell it? And I was like, 100%, I can do that for you. So I
Wow.
went over the whole cut sheet. She was like, what do you mean? And I was like, this is the cut sheet. So like, let's go through and I'll find out what you want out of each piece, bone in, boneless, steaks, roast, how do you want your specs, whatever. And she's like, I've never had anybody go through this as thorough as you have. I was like, well, they should. Like, this is a high-end piece of meat. Like,
Product. Mm.
this is something that just should be standard for you. All I'm asking is, your cross ribs, your petite tenders, your bavettes and stuff like. Do you want these things? And she was like, yes, like this is wonderful. Okay, great. We've made the right choice.
Mm.
So from there, it just kind of like it kicked off. So I've been cutting probably 2 or 3 Wagyu a week for them for the last 3 years. And then we got to the point at the last facility I was at that we just couldn't continue at the pace that they wanted to grow. And they wanted to put forth an offer for me to come on with them. But they were like, well, how do we do that? We want you to come cut for us exclusively, but how do we get you to come do that? And we don't have anywhere to do that. So then they looked into buying a shop because they wanted to have their own facility.
Mm.
And then they found this gentleman that was looking to get out. He didn't have a succession plan. He'd been running the shop for almost 50 years. And they were
Wow.
like, well, would you move and come run this facility for us? And it's like, okay, like we can talk about that. And so we ended up making a deal and everything panned out time wise with him wanting to retire, the beat going down, me selling the house, getting into a new facility. Um, a lot on the go at once. That was like 3 weeks before I got married.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
so a move, a marriage, a shop. It was crazy. It was a good time, but no. So now I'm in a facility. So I'm running this full facility, so a full abattoir, a butcher shop, and a retail area, and cutting their Wagyu for them.
Mm.
It's this is everything that I've worked for the last couple of years for. This has been the dream of being able to have a shop to run. Maybe
Yeah.
not necessarily of my own, but to work for them. And they're a phenomenal people to work for. A wonderful family, super nice, uh, great, like great practices on how they raise their animals, how they run their farm, how they do business. Like very much the kind of people that I could dream of having a better sort of a connection with.
Mm.
Um, so it's been super nice on that. Obviously, as you know, with starting a shop, it's a little bananas, like a little crazy when you first get in. Like you're like, okay, it should be like this, and then you get in and it's like holding on to a fucking lightning bolt. You're like, holy shit, what do I do? Like I know how I do with this, but then every time you start a shop in a new place, or every time you try and get a hold of something, it's like you're almost starting from scratch where you're learning a new business. Like I walked into an established business that's been here for 50 years. So it's like, I don't want to change too much because it's working, but I
Yeah.
also don't know how you run the facility versus how I'm used to running a shop.
Mm.
So it's just trying to find that middle grounds of like, this is how I like to run things and this is how the customers want things. And I'm trying to figure the shop out. Plus now I'm adding in a Wagyu schedule and so it was a lot of work in the beginning and in the front end, but it's all for like a purpose and this is all the stress that I asked for. Like this was the job I wanted. This was the opportunity I wanted. This
Yeah.
was the thing that I put myself forward for. So it's all been stuff that I want. So just keeping that in mind of you're working towards a goal. You're working, this is what you wanted to be and this is what you wanted to have and I'm in charge of making decisions here. So if I
Mm.
want to do something, if I want to create something, if I want to, bring products in or run promos or do
It's all on
donation
you.
or,
Yeah.
or yeah, everything's on me. And it's a lot of stress, but it's the stress I ask for. And it's the kind of thing that I enjoy. Like I don't have
Mm.
a whole lot of control issues, but if I'm going to be in charge of something, put me in charge of something. Let me do it. Don't tell me I'm in charge of something and not give me the opportunity to run it. So it's been great. It's been good. It's been about we're just over 2 months, 2.5 months now. Um,
Still fresh.
Still fresh. Yeah. So I mean,
Mm.
I'm seeing repeat business. I'm seeing new customers. I'm seeing positive feedback. Like obviously you're going to get those people that's like, oh, well, things are changing and I don't like that. But you just try and run the best you can with
Is it gradual changes that you've slowly done, like, oh, paint this wall, move this here, just like
Yeah,
gradual
and it's
things? Have you found?
and it's just been very small stuff. Like it's not even been like I haven't moved any rooms around anything. It's just been like, okay, well, like I'm gonna bring in this type of hot sauce, or like I'm gonna add this seasoning, or
Mm,
just slowly adding to the fresh case. Like, okay, well, like introducing people, and obviously the Wagyu's been the biggest thing because they never had that here before, and now having Wagyu come in, everyone's like, oh, that's interesting. Like, what is that? Or can I
mm,
try some? Or how do I cook this? Or whatever. And some people are like, oh, that's really expensive stuff, and I don't want to try it. But then having those secondary and tertiary cuts, being able to offer things like a cross rib or a petite tender or chuck flats or merlots or oysters, stuff that's not as high ticket items, but still
mm.
a good quality thing,
Yeah,
is giving
100%.
people an initial where it's like, oh, okay, this is cool, and also like I've never heard of these things before. So now I'm sharing that knowledge to a new demographic up here, whereas I was in a different city before. So um, it's been hopeful, I would say, is probably the overall word I would use for it, where it's like, okay, like you're seeing progress and it's moving in the right direction and we're seeing people happy, and I'm providing a service for, like, this is a small knit community and this was a pillar of the community as a business. And so for me to take the mantle of that moving forward and moving into a new town, um, I like that because you become the local butcher. You become the guy in town. Like everybody knows you and they know your family, and you're feeding other families. And so to me, that's kind of like that's the dream of when I first became a butcher. You think about, like, when I think of that, I think of like in the UK of like you go down to the old butcher shop and you have your town butcher and the guy and he knows your family and he's like, oh, okay, like how are the kids, and you cut steaks
Mm,
for them, or you do your Sunday roast and they send them off, and everybody, like, you're just part of the community, and you're that service that you keep everyone fed, and that to me
mm.
is what I love. Like that, if I had nothing else in life as my like mark on history, that would be enough for me.
Yeah, no, that is a really good point as well, because you seem to forget, like, inside of the communities, because the baker and the candlestick maker are gone now.
Yeah,
Like, there's hardly any fresh bakeries anymore because they're being dominated here in the UK by these huge big brands that are just making these shit fucking products. But the
so much
UK,
process. Yeah,
the British people love that shit, and it's just like, but that's not real food. It's not real food at all. But then you still got the butchers still holding on, and like every high street and every like farmhouse like kind of butcher, they all have these beautiful products that they represent. And everyone goes, nah, man, that's my butcher over there, and like a lot of people are really proud of that. Or a
yeah,
lot of people go, that's my farm. That
yeah,
that's where I get my coffee. And those people, did that fundraiser for my kids at the school. They just
yeah.
really, yeah, I like you putting that into perspective to say that's your mark, and that's a really good way of looking at what we do as like suppliers and servants to the general public, I should say.
Yeah, yeah. I
Mm.
mean, it's you're not like you're not like a big rock star or whatever, but people are dedicated to
Oh,
their butcher shop as much as almost like a sports team, right? Where it's like that's my
mm.
guy.
That's my
Um,
man. Mm.
right, and it's kind of nice to be that guy, and it's and then I guess maybe that plays back into that whole praise thing where it's like
Mm.
you know it does give me purpose and praise, and it makes my life feel a little bit complete.
100%. It's fulfilling. It's really nice as well, especially doing these podcasts as well. It's another
Huge. Yeah.
avenue, but it's more fulfilling in a way now because like I go to work, I'm in and out. Like there's not a lot of brain space is used in what I do because coming up to 20 years now, and it's just like whatever. But now, like using that brain space and getting these bits done to express like the whole community and get everyone involved is like it's incredible. Um,
But I think the thing too for you is that, I mean, for me to witness you doing this kind of stuff, and seeing some of the other, like we touched about, influencers and whatnot, in the sense that you guys are kind of inspiring the next generation, or giving inspiration for people who are maybe in the career or in the craft and don't necessarily have the kind of facility where they can work on certain things or they know about certain things. Like a lot of places are like grocery stores where you open a bag and you don't know and you want to know more. So guys like you having that experience and using your brain space and using your time and doing these podcasts and talking to people, like going to events and
Mm.
stuff like that, you become an inspiration for those people, uh, which I think is wonderful. And like I
Mm.
love watching you guys doing your thing because to me it's like, okay, cool. Like I never thought about that. Or like, oh, it's interesting to see what kind of stuff they do because I'd like to try that here or bring that here or and so I mean we're kind of a worldwide community where we all support each other and pull from each other, but it's nice to see that level from certain people and like you said about using your brain space for the podcast and to share that kind of stuff.
The
Um,
positive side of it all as well, because
yeah,
I wanted to ask you as well, like when you said I'll put you in charge of like the promos and the posters and all these other bits and pieces, what tips and tricks are you using, like with that whole bit? Like, are you writing lists? Are you just fucking screaming in your head, going ah, ah?
Kevin. um, Tips and tricks. Pay attention to what you're doing so you don't stab yourself.
We've seen that.
I'll send you a video. I like my leg reenacted the Alien movie. Anytime I moved my foot, it was just like
Oh,
I'll send you a good one.
yeah, go on then. Oh, yummy.
I'll
Fired
show you
up.
some thighs. um, Tips and tricks. I would say like what I predominantly use around here is Facebook. Like a lot of people run businesses on Facebook around here. And so I try not to do too gimmicky of stuff for Facebook because a lot of the clientele around here is like an older generation where they're still like they're on Facebook, but it's very like grandma's on Facebook kind of stuff where it's
Mm,
you'll make a
mm.
post and then it's like so great to see you, Timothy, and like I hope you're doing well and blah blah blah, or it's like it's like
Yeah, yeah, like her own post and then
yeah
message her
yeah
herself again. Yeah.
yeah 50 Facebook profile pictures of
Yeah. Or like faces right up in the camera.
yeah. So yeah, Facebook's a big one around here, and it's interesting to see because it's like it's free advertising, but
Hmm.
I'll take a picture of something and I'll put it on the Facebook, and about 20 minutes later, somebody will be in the door and be like, "I saw this thing on Facebook," and you're like, "Oh shit, that worked fast."
Is that
Um,
you? Yeah.
yeah, well, and I get people stopping me in the supermarket now, and they're like, "You're the guy on Facebook," and I was like, "Yep, yep, that's me." And I was like in Subway getting sandwiches with my kids the other day, and some guy came up and was like, "I just wanted to shake your hand, like I love what you're doing, and I see you on Facebook all the time." And I was like, "Oh, am I like Facebook famous?" Like, um,
I
be
can
like,
shred
"Sir,
cheese.
I won't sign an autograph, but my pen is out of ink."
Yeah, have some cheese.
um, no, I don't know. Like it's. I would say the big thing, like for me in the butcher industry, is just try. Like be passionate about it and wanna do it. And don't be afraid to try something. I think that's the thing is like there's you could like you said, you're always going to make mistakes, and to
Mm,
have somebody being able to say it's okay, you can make a mistake. I mean, when I'm the guy in charge, like it's easy for me to say it's okay, I can make a mistake, but then you got to make money at the end of the day.
yeah.
Um, but you don't know something will sell if you don't try it. And I think you poke out there and see what your kind of clientele are, and see, okay, well, do you think they'd go for it? Maybe you slowly ease stuff in. So instead of just banging out a product that this is something I've always wanted to do, but I know it won't sell here, maybe make a product that would be halfway between, but will
Mm,
sell. So you
mm,
try, I'm not going to jump out with the spiciest sausage that I can make here because the people around here aren't going to eat that. But maybe I'll try this flavor and that'll be interesting. And then you try another flavor and that'll be interesting. And so
mm.
you slowly add things, right?
Do you have like a whiteboard where you're like, all right, so this week we trialed the spicy sausage. It was a mess, not a hit. Let's scrap that. Keep the same criteria. do the post, but with this, opening hours are changed a little bit longer. So,
Yeah,
and then introducing, dare I say, Christmas.
too
Sorry for
early.
swearing. Sorry, sorry for swearing. But this is where you, as a business owner, should already know now what you're doing for Christmas.
Yeah.
Like what your opening hours are. Hopefully, your staff are gonna be like happy with doing an extra 5, 6 hours or whatever, depending on what the demand is.
We
Um,
we have to get to moose season here, and moose season is all hell breaks loose.
oh my
So
God, I forgot about that.
we are September 22nd is when moose starts, and I've we reserve hooks, so I've reserved over 30 people, which is twice what they reserved last year.
Jesus.
So I'm a little overzealous, but I like to
Mm.
achieve. Um, so we're gonna have a lot of people coming here for moose season. It'll be probably 6 7 days a week in the shop. It'll be morning to night. It'll be crazy. So we got to get through moose season first, and then when moose season ends, I've got probably 9 weeks of custom wagyu booked until Christmas. So I've got Thanksgiving in there. I've got Halloween in there. We've got a couple holidays in there, and then you got up to Christmas. So there's a couple things ahead of Christmas.
Mm.
But yeah, I think for every holiday, every long weekend, every new season, I try and bring something out. I try and I like to do seasonal stuff. I like to do small batch stuff because it gives people a sample to try it, and if they like it, then you can put it back in the rotation. Um, and it lets that creativity out, and I think that's a big thing for me to be able to have some sort of creativity, because if I have
Yep.
to just foam product and do the same thing day in and day out for the next 50 years 60 years, whatever, um, it kills you on the inside a little bit, and you have to have that creativity. You have to have an outlet of, it's not just the same monotonous. And so
Mm.
I like to create different things. I mean, I got a whole recipe book written up on the computer of like, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try that, or I did try
Mm.
this and I know it works. And so, like, when am I gonna roll this in? Uh, I think I'm at something like 56 different recipes or something like that.
That's a lot. That's a
Yeah,
lot. That's cool.
yeah. So eventually I'll start rolling them out, and some of them are for pork, some of them are for wagyu, and so I'll just try different things. And then as I get more time to experiment and play through, I want to put those into play. But
What about moose? Like, because you said moose season, can you make a
yeah,
moose sausage?
you bet, you bet. Moose
Yeah.
is very similar. Moose is very similar to. I mean, it would be similar for you guys to like a deer or like a leaner beef.
Hmm.
It looks like a beef when you break it down, or I would say uh, almost like a bull, where there's very limited fat on it, very lean muscle,
Yeah.
um, just a kind of a more of a gamey flavor. And obviously that
It.
depends on the quality of moose that gets shot and how the condition is that it gets brought in. Some people go hunting with bowling balls, and
Huh?
you get like where they, instead of just shooting once to put the animal down, you get a little drunk and you start firing as many bullets into that thing as you can to put him down, and the animal comes in with big chunks missing out of them because
Bowling
they're all
ball.
busted up, blown out like a cannon bowling ball.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I was just like, so people just going in like, what?
You're like,
Strike.
you Canadians are fucking crazy.
Yeah. Did you see that, Kevin? That's how you kill a moose.
No, they come in. I mean, they come in all holy and missing limbs and all beat to shit, and so those are usually the ones that you don't want to see. But inevitably you do. Um,
Because that's
but
sausage.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
What
yeah.
what
So I
what would
mean,
you do? What would you do? Like recipe? Would you do like moose, whiskey, and like star anises, kind of like cinnamon kind of touch to it, or would you kind of just
yeah,
do?
that'd be a good one in there.
Mm.
Usually I try and run things like citrus is nice with moose.
Mm.
I usually don't go super crazy. Usually I try and do my citrus with like bear. So usually
Yeah.
bear, I'll do a lot of apple or oranges because they're very akin to pork. Uh,
Mm.
Moose, I try and go a little bit more like of a hearty kind of a spice, more warm
Mm.
spices, or maybe a little bit of herb and stuff like that.
Yeah, because that's why I said like the star aniseed because you kind of got that licorice
Yeah,
tinge. It's still earthy, but
Yeah.
like we're in between beef and venison mooses, so you're kind of like, all right, how are we going to play this? Plus, you're also adding pork fat as well, aren't you?
Yeah, usually you'll
Mm.
add pork fat. Some
Mm.
people opt out; they want more of that gamey flavor, so they'll do a beef fat in there,
Oh, okay.
which you get more of like that true moose flavor. Um, so
Would you
it
say?
really depends. A lot of people are pretty set in their ways about flavors that they want. Like it's very mild Italian, hot Italian. You got honey garlic; those are very staple around here.
Yeah,
Breakfast sausages. Moose isn't really great for a breakfast sausage.
this is a good way to start the day because you're like, wow, this is straight.
You're like, oh.
I got to taste
um,
like moose for the whole 24 hours today. Mm.
yeah, I will stink. Everyone enjoy my breath. It's like the guy that brings tuna to the work,
No,
opens a
it's
can of
that
tuna.
asshole. It's the person who fucking microwaves fish. Like,
Yeah, the whole
oh,
office smells like, yeah.
yeah, it smells like someone's farted, and it's just like it's burnt plastic
Like, I
mixed.
call her.
Oh, it's disgusting. I never had an office job, but I assume that's what it means.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like office jobs. I cut meat. No, work my hands. Yeah, I'm just getting flashbacks of being stuck in an office. Stuck in an office. Um, yeah, I would say I don't know. Yeah, most I would they do a typical like a lot of dinner stuff. Occasionally you'll do like an Oktoberfest or something like that. Bust that in there, but yeah, just a lot of it will just depend on what the customer's flavor profile is.
Mm.
There's only so much that I try and push the envelope with people in flavor profiles because I find if you make them try something too far out of what they want, then they're going to be like, "Oh, that was disgusting," or like, "I don't like what this guy makes," and then you never see them again. Some
And word
people
of
are like,
mouth
"Oh,
as
I'm
well.
willing to try stuff." Yeah, huge,
Mm.
huge in the hunting community.
Yeah. Word of mouth as well, especially like when you're opening, because you're only 2.5 months deep now. Word of mouth is the best free advertisement ever.
Huge.
But it also could be your worst enemy. Because if you go in too hot with those random flavors or pushing people to do those things, that's when you'll start to reach like people will back away very quickly. And it's like you've gone stalking before. New customers are like deer. You gotta come in really slowly. Get up nice and close.
Hide in a tree and pounce on them. Give a bunch of old ladies heart attacks.
Start giving her mouth to mouth. Don't worry, babe. I got the sausage for you. That's brilliant. So yeah, you have plans now. So you are on the verge of like you said, you've got get moose season. Fucking hell,
Mice season. Mooses? Mices. Mouses.
Mises,
Mises?
Mises.
Mises?
Yeah,
Mises?
yeah. But you've got that season. You've also, like you said, you got Halloween. Halloween's quite big in the States, Canada,
Yeah.
per se. It's quite big here, but at the moment, it's past like since COVID, it's not been the same. People aren't really celebrating as much.
Yeah. We get Thanksgiving. You guys don't have Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving's usually pretty big around here.
That's like your second Christmas, basically Thanksgiving, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say it's bigger on turkeys and stuff. But kind of like
Mm,
how you guys have Easter, where you're like your hams and your lambs and stuff go like crazy.
unreal.
Easter's busy here, but I wouldn't say as much. Like a Thanksgiving is our equivalent to your Easter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Eastern Australia, New Zealand, UK, huge.
huge. Yeah,
Like one shop could go through like 150 legs of lamb, like easy,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But I wouldn't recommend like opening a shop in the UK in the first 2 months being Easter because you haven't quite got the staff for one, and also
You wouldn't recommend it.
I wouldn't recommend it. It's like another sort of Christmas for us as well. It's fucking wild, and
Yeah,
and that's like the beginning of the year for us where the stupidity starts.
yeah.
It doesn't get any better throughout the year, and then Christmas hits, and then you're like at the bottom of the barrel, just ready to go. Uh, is it that noose is looking all right?
Yeah, yeah. You're like, you think if I ran head first into the bandsaw, it'd hurt, or I get far enough in? Like,
Well, if you went head first, you would probably only just give yourself like cut through your skull. But
you'd hit the plate, and then you'd be like, ow.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Also, we don't have bandsaws in the UK, so
Oh,
hand
right,
hand saws it is.
right. Handsaw man. You got to start the
Yeah,
old.
chainsaw. Let's fucking do it. Um, so you've got that planned out.
Yep.
How you got like a whiteboard for that big bad boy, or you just fucking up in here? Because sometimes it's easy to write the bitch down. Personally,
Up in here's no good, man.
yeah,
I'm like an old lady. I will forget shit. Or it's just
mm,
too crowded up there, and you're like,
yeah,
got to get that shit out. No,
yeah,
I write everything down. I'm a huge, like, I write lists, I write notes, I save everything on the computer. I used to do it all on whiteboard. I have a whiteboard for like every month. Um, but I learned very quickly if you have a whiteboard out in the open, suddenly things go missing on it. Um,
yes, people, yeah,
yeah, well, I meant to just write on here, and then I smudged a whole week's worth of stuff, and now I lose it. So if I write on a whiteboard, I also take pictures of it. I
yeah,
have like
yeah,
6,000 photos on my phone of just like screenshots of different shit that I've done, and I'm like, I should probably clear these. Like
yeah.
5 years worth of like, don't forget this on Monday.
But that still like takes you down memory lane. Like PTSD right there. Oh, my daily dose of it. Feeling
Yeah, yikes.
very overwhelmed.
Gotta,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. No, um, yeah, everything gets written down. Everything gets because it's you like you'll forget. Like
yeah,
I get too many things in the brain sometimes, and I just don't remember, and you get to be in mush after a while.
mm,
I'm sure when you were running your shop. I mean, just
mm.
trying to
I
get everything going.
Yeah, I had a diary, like my own diary, and I had a work diary, and I would put
Yeah.
everything into my personal diary that I use. So like those sausage flavors, what I'm gonna recap for the week, circulating the beef, from always doing like my 25 to 35 days, and like invoices to pay. Invoices are always big,
Yeah.
but I keep it. But I found myself doing it more regularly than I ever have, and I became very efficient at it. But now
Okay.
that but now I stopped. So I haven't written really anything because now I just use an iPad and I type in everything and then I save that file and it saves to my phone now. And
Yeah.
so like with this stuff now, like with the podcast, I'll write everything, it'll save and I can transfer it over. But it is a really good practice and I like writing. It's very stimulating in a sense and
Yeah.
it's easier because up here, like you said, mine just gets loud. Like my head gets loud, and then when I start to write stuff down and put it out onto somewhere else, that's your responsibility. Paper, you stay there.
Right.
That's
Okay. So is
that
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 is that how you kind of like separate, or I guess like how you manage and maintain, or like you said, you get it out on paper and it's gone, and then you don't have to worry about it. Like that's how you. That's
prioritizing like that list. So you prioritize right. I got to pay for that wagyu that came 2 weeks ago. I don't know how you do. Like if it's weekly pay, fortnightly, monthly pay with the wagyu place. Let's
yeah.
say prioritize. So you put like payment for Bird due this date, and then you would highlight that, and then when that's done, you would go right tick date. Payment was made. That's in your file
Yeah.
for the tax man. You put that away. Bush. That's done. Staff to be paid. Person on holiday. Person pregnant. Person blah blah blah. But then But if you're already rotating your wagyu and everything as well, you kind of don't need to write it down. But if there's like a special order that someone wants, they're like,
Yeah.
I want 100. Yeah, I want 100 days of rib. You just put that on the shelf, and then you would mark what that would be. But like you got to prioritize that list. But like for you personally, it's remaining consistent
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
remaining consistent and just thinking about the positive and even writing yourself a little note to say, I love you and I'm super proud of you, just to yourself. I always found that. I was like, don't be a dipshit today. Fucking cut straight. Or I love
That's
you. Don't fuck up.
that's actually okay. Because like
Mm,
I don't do that, and I don't journal. Like I don't diary or anything. I haven't got into that because I always have good intentions of trying to, and then it's
Mm,
just one of those like, oh, I have to do this again, and I never get into it. But it's definitely probably a more positive thing. Like for me, when I decompress, like I like to play with my kids or like do stuff at home. I like to work out. Is
mm,
usually like you get the loud, screamy musics, and you lift the heavy things, and it makes all the louder the scream on the outside, the quieter the scream on the inside,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Um, so I do that instead of journaling because it just kind of I just try and melt my brain with the screams and with the heavy lifting because then it's like okay, you're just you. It sounds silly, but you like take a second to stop thinking about work, to
yeah.
stop like you just shut your brain off and like it's just music and noise and like whatever, and you get into a different wavelength of like I'm just doing this as like a therapeutic, like it makes me feel better. And I personally myself, I notice that like if I don't work out in a week or whatever or a certain time period, I feel old, like I feel sore. It sounds counterintuitive because you're like, okay, well, like I'm lifting a bunch of heavy stuff at work and then I'm lifting a bunch of heavy stuff at home, like it should make you more sore.
It's two
But
different things. It's two different things because you
yeah,
got work and then you got working out. One's a
yeah,
passion and one's a project. They're two
yeah,
different.
and I
They're
think
two working out. Yeah.
part of for me, like when I started working out when I was doing butchery, like I got really into it when I worked at Hot Puffs because all the other guys worked out, and so it was like, okay, well, like you were building muscle, so that work didn't seem so hard.
Mm.
Like all that pulling motion and the cutting motion and the lifting and the tearing and stuff, like it made your joints not hurt as much because you were so used to like, okay, well, I go to the gym and like I'm making these movements and I'm lifting more weights. So then when you go to lift, 50 kilos didn't feel as heavy anymore.
Mm.
Um, and so I still try and keep that going with life because I find if I'm going a couple of weeks without working out, it's like my knees will hurt or my back will hurt, or like I'll start to notice like, okay, my hands hurt a little bit more. And it just
Mm.
feels like you that age or that work creeps up with you, or you're like, oh, okay, like yikes.
It's that consistency as well, being mobile. Like you said, oh, I'll miss a week or 2 weeks of like going to the gym, but it's like because you've stopped the mobility as well. Stretching is a huge thing as well. I found in doing in this industry, especially breaking beef or lifting beef, it's just 10, 15 minutes of stretches with my morning coffee, and then maybe go like go to the toilet because you've stretched and drank coffee. Um,
Because you stretch for
but
the
yeah,
toilet.
yeah. Well, you can't exactly stretch on the toilet, can you? Because it'd be quite hard.
do,
Um,
do do 5 squats.
yeah. Thank you. Um,
See, I've never been into the stretching, and I should because, like, yeah, when you stand at the block all day, you're there for 10, like 8 to 10 hours standing on concrete. And
and
I don't
some
know about
shit
you, like,
shoes.
I know, well, yeah, and that's like I've had in, you invest in a good pair of boots because like after you stand for a while, it hurts. But um, like
It's the
you're fairly
soles.
tall. You're fairly
Yeah.
tall. And so working at a table, like I don't know many butchers that are tall. Most of the butchers are like short, stocky kind of guys.
Mm.
Um, so I've never worked at a table that's actually been an appropriate height for me, unless I've like had my own table for game cutting at home.
Yeah.
Um, so most of the time you have that odd, like you're oddly hunched over the
Mm.
table, or like
That's how I
your
keep it.
like your back
Yeah.
hurts all the time, right? And your knees hurt a little bit. So I find like stretching would probably help. Definitely.
Stretching 100% works.
Yeah.
Like just in your hands, like in the doing a minute
That
of
I
that,
do. Yeah.
minute of that on the bench. Like
Yeah.
so, stretch your legs out. Try and do a little bit of bit of this and that. Doing a bit of those things. I found very beneficial, especially when you're back because we're at a tasty age of over 30.
Where the gray hairs have definitely crept in.
Yeah, I got the little bits coming through, but like we're coming more seasoned, but especially stretching your back and your sciatica and everything. Those are
Yeah.
the ones. Those are the ones that you need to like really take care of, really, really look after. Because your back, you only got one of those, but like hands and fingers now, man. I still got fucking 9 of these
I can
big
lose
bad
a
boys.
couple.
Yeah,
I've had close calls. We've almost lost a couple.
yeah. Well, yeah. We've nearly lost the thumb. It's still working.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
did. But those things are very important, and especially being kind to yourself. Like I said, writing a little note saying "I love you," cut straight, dickhead. You know, it's like just being kind to yourself in those situations. Because I know, personally speaking, as well, because you're only 2.5 months in, and when I had mine, 2.5 months didn't fly. It was because you're there. You're there every day. It slows down. You're always like, ooh, like always watching, always listening, always being prepared. But like, it's just embracing those little moments, embracing all of it, and just slowing down and not being hard on yourself because things will happen.
Yeah, I'm not great at that part. That part, like,
No.
everyone says like you're your own worst critic, but like, man,
Mm,
if I was my boss, yeah. Um,
mm. Yeah.
it's one of those like I expect a certain level from myself, um, and I always want to overachieve, and I never want to let anyone down.
Yeah.
And so I lean really hard on myself, and when I don't achieve what I want to achieve, you get the grumblies, you get the depresso espressos, and
Fuck that cup.
um, but I think it's also one of the things that has driven me to get to where I am. Like if I
Mm,
was always hard on myself and like you need to do more, you need to do more, I never would be here. Like I would still be, who knows,
mm.
right? Um but yes, like you said, I mean you do have to take the small moments because if you're never doing enough, you'll never do enough. You could do 1,000 things right and one thing wrong, and if you're only focusing on that one wrong,
Mm.
what's the point, right? So it is trying to enjoy those little things, and um, there are little moments where it's like, okay, like I made this thing and people liked it, or like, oh, okay, like I had a customer that was happy with something I cut for them, and it went over well at a family gathering or something. And so those things, those fill my cup a lot. Like those little
Yeah.
things.
Mm.
That steak you cut me last time that you told me about was really good, and or I brought it home for my boyfriend's birthday dinner, and he was super happy, and I'm like, amazing. Like
Mm.
that's the kind of stuff that it gives you goosebumps, right? When they come back and you're like, I feel happy. I feel good.
Yeah.
That is my little note to myself. Like, gold star, you did a good job, Brad.
However, you might say that, but you need to, when shit hits the fan, you need to think of those moments. You need to find something that takes you back. Because obviously, it's easier to dwell in the shit than it is to think about those positive things. And I found that the hardest as well, especially when things were fucking up at the shop. But
Yeah.
people would be like, why are you so hard on yourself? My wife especially, she's like, stop being so fucking hard on yourself. Because that's not who you are. And it's just like, yeah, but I want to succeed. I want to win. you know,
I
I
gotta
want to,
do it.
I got, I can do it. But there was like things like that, and I was just like, do you know what? She's fucking right. Because I've skipped 6 months, and I was like, what the fuck happened in here? I was already 6 months. It was over, and I was like, I didn't take a breath. I didn't soak it in. I just kept it, just kept that negative, like on me, because I always thought I was going to do worse and worse and worse. But it is what
Yeah,
it
you're
is. But I
worried if you
think,
take your foot off the pedal for 1 second, then
mm,
suddenly everything is going to come to a crash.
yeah, but it doesn't. And I learned that. But you need to stay in those positive moments. Like obviously, when shit hits fan, it is harder to put that into practice. But if you do you you just do it, and then you
Yeah.
will. Trust me, man. You probably know, but you said you're your worst critic. That's true. But think
Yeah.
about those times. Think it and like um, speaking of big moments and filling cups, you had your wedding.
I did. I did.
Mm.
It was wonderful. I was it wa- I was I got surprised by some family members that flew in to come
Uh,
surprise me. My wife did a sneaky and coordinated with people and got them there, and my sister made it out a couple of my best friends made it out, so it was wonderful. It was great to be able to have all those people that love and care about you and that you love and care about around you.
Mm.
So that was super good. It was a wonderful day. My wife was beautiful. My kids were the ring bearer and the flower girl. They were
Brilliant. Yeah.
very dedicated. My daughter was like flower petal, and my son. I've never seen a tighter fist on a ring in my entire life.
Mm.
He was like holding that thing like I'm not going to drop it. Yeah. To have that special moment and to give my wife the wedding that she deserves and wants, and it was something that I really enjoyed as well. So it was good. It was a good time.
How many people did you have turn up and like for the day and the evening?
We were about 40, 45 people, so nice and small. We knew that there was going to be people that would be able to make it because of flights and time frames and whatnot. Um, so it was, all the people that were there were the people that we were happy that were there, and totally understandable that some people didn't make it, but it was a gorgeous day. I took 4 days off of work, so that was very nice. I enjoyed it every minute of it. So
Brilliant. Just phone off, put to the side.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just fam.
First month into the business, and took 4 days off. It was great, and yeah, man. So now I'm actually leaving next week for my sister's wedding. So she's
Brilliant.
so I'll be off for a couple days for that. So that's great. Um, you got married the same month we're twinsies. We got married in the same month.
I know. When was your date? Sorry.
I was July 5th.
Right. So we're 21 days apart. So I was the 26. So you're at the beginning and I'm at the end. So the whole of July is just one big party.
There you
Yeah.
go. There
Yeah.
you go. How did everything go for you guys?
It was really good. So we got married in a hall. So we
Nice.
it was built in like the 1700s and it was getting refurbed and whatever else. So we
Yep.
had 30. No, it was a really odd number. It was 27 people were only allowed in the hall.
Okay.
And in that bit, and then they had like a Jubilee garden, and we like it was like typical British summer garden, like where they had like apples and blackberries, like trees and bushes and rosemary bushes and everything like magical like that. My brother made it from from Australia. He came over.
Awesome.
I ain't seen him in
Quite a while.
8 years, 7 years. Yeah.
Wow.
And he's 6'6".
Me too.
Yeah. So I was looking up at him. I was like, "What the fuck happened?"
You're like, have you always been this tall?
Yeah, no, because last time I seen him, man, he was only 17, and you know he was shorter than me. He would have been like 17, yeah, he was something like that. He was shorter than me, and now he's like, well, yeah, he's fucking tall now, and it's just insane. He's got a massive foot as well. So I was just like, well, I don't want to get kicked in the ass by this asshole.
You're like, what are they putting into the water over there?
Yeah, it's too much sunlight. These dandelions are growing.
Jesus, you're like a sunflower. Just keep going.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he was. He was as thick as a sunflower like stem.
Yeah.
That's what he was like. But my God, it was nice to see him. But yeah, we did that, and then we did the after party at Drop the Anchor Brewery. And then they had like Big Nose Barbecue, Origin Barbecue. Those boys
Yeah, I saw you
did
guys
all
had
of
a
it.
huge barbecue thing.
Yeah, so we just did a massive barbecue. I gave him like I think it was including the band and the staff and everything. I fed 75 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you always got to feed the band and then the boys behind the bar and everything as well. That's what I wanted to do instead of them just going, oh man, I wish I got some of that, this time, because I know what it's like to be on that end, and it's a bit shit because you're just like, fucking hell, I've just been slaving away. Now everyone's fucking eating and whatever else. I can't have any of this. Nah, I know what it's like. Everyone eats. We all stop.
Because you've done a couple like barbecue events and stuff like that. Like you've done like smoking fire and stuff like that too, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
So we did the Butcher Wars at Smoke and Fire. I think it was the very first year. That's when Brett Law was there, Ben Tyndall, you name it. Luke and I went. That was good fun. That was really, really good fun because you got to meet people we've been talking to. So you and I, so like
Yeah.
we've been talking for many years now, and it was just like fucking hell. I thought you were going to be shorter, or do you know what I mean? Like TC Turner was there as well, the red
Yeah.
bearded butcher, and I
Yeah.
thought that dude was going to be shorter, but I'm like, fucking hell, man, you're
Pretty tall.
amazing. Yeah, well, he's tall. Be like,
Yeah.
but it's just really cool because you just like you can finally put a perspective of people of like because you're 6'6" and I'm 6 foot as well, you know. So I'm just like it was really really good. Like those barbecue wars are really good fun.
And it's got to be cool to see, like, because I mean, everyone chats online and stuff like that, but there's only so much that goes through on, like, over messaging or whatever. Like, you might video each other. Like, I know me and you video each other once in a while, and we'll like send a full video and have a conversation.
Mm.
But there's only so much that translates, so it's kind of nice to be able to like have that conversation or to like joke around with somebody or meet them in person. Be like, okay, this is your personality, and this is how this goes, and like you really establish that friendship that you started online.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, it's funny how this has taken it globally, and then
Yeah.
now we like very shortly you and I can say, do you know what, we're going to be here, and it'd be like, absolutely, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
But like, especially with the Butcher Wars as well, it's such a beautiful concept, especially Shannon Walker driving that Butcher Alliance and doing the Butcher Wars. I think it's just a really good idea, and it's making the community, the big community, feel smaller, but for a personal touch reason, I would say,
Yeah.
in my opinion, and I like that idea. Like
Yeah.
WBC, for an example, massive, big turnout, 3 days, big turnout, worth it. But like, there's only so much socializing you can do until because you're watching these people for the first set is an hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever it is. You don't want to talk because you don't want to be disrespectful because you're watching friends compete, but it is what it is.
And you have so many people to shake hands. It's almost like, hi, 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 hi. And you got like 30 seconds to say, hey, how's it going before you're on to the next handshake or the next group hug or whatever, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But you're there for like, Team America, let's say, and, Nathan was there. Like I tried to talk to him as much as possible, but I had to move on. You have to move on. Like, I love your work, mate. You did incredible. I'm super proud of you. Like I told everyone as well, but I wanted to get down to like Romania and have a look at their table, shake their hands, say I'm proud of them. Same with like, because we were on Australia, so we had like Australia, New Zealand, UK side. So we were on that side, and then the others were on the other side. But trying to get to the other side was impossible. Like we just kept getting kicked out. Dave Corbett and I and Gareth from Victory Knives, we just kept getting kicked out of places because they're like, nah, you can't be here. And you're just like, what the fuck? Like I thought you could access all areas. Also, he's one of the fucking sponsors.
Yeah. You're like, right. You should have a pass to go wherever.
Yeah, this is the golden ticket, and this is the goose, and the goose can't even lay the egg because he's not in the nest.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah, you're talking to the meanest cunt out. But yeah, no, I lost track of what we were talking about.
Just about different events and stuff you do. Like, is there one that stands out in your head that you're like, this was the one? Like, if I had a chance to go back and live any one of them over again, or pinpoint in like what my favorite was, or what was the coolest experience for me.
I haven't done Malden Smoke and Fire barbecue one yet, but I would say the most genetic, like genuinely, probably the nicest and funnest one was the very first Sizzle Fest. So like year one Sizzle Fest, because I competed with Simon Maynard and Spice Punch David. That was fun. It was so generic. It was so easy and fun. It's like it was just good because you had like all the original. You had Tom Gosney from Gosney, like those pizza ovens. He was there, and he was like, "This is my product. It's a fucking pizza oven, and it's fucking dope." And you're like, "Sweet." I love it.
Yeah.
I want to give it a kiss and a cuddle, you know. And then yeah, Charlie's ovens as well, and they just had they're like locker room. So you know, like Charlie's ovens, they're multicolored and they look it's like safes, and you can
Yeah.
like
Okay.
turn the, like instead of turning a dial, it has the temperature gauge on it, and you had levels of it, and you could smoke and everything. They had 7 or 8 colors, like a rainbow lined up, and they were cooking stuff on there, and
Okay.
they were just going, "Here you go," giving that out, and you're sinking beers, there's music playing. You know
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
the first year one, I would like to relive again because it was it was small, personal, and everyone got to experience it. Like, no, not one bit was different. You know, obviously you had Traeger and Green Egg, and they were cooking chicken wings, had hot wings,
Yeah.
you know, going off. You had to try some of the hot sauce that the hot wings were on, and you're like, "Ugh." You're just like, "Ugh." Like
Like, why did I
after,
do that? But also give me more.
yeah, I had like a dozen beers by then, and I was like, yeah, I can fucking do it. Yeah, no, I'm out. You know, and it sets the tone for the rest of the night because you just like there's like you can't taste any beer or anything because you just burnt all your taste buds from
Yeah.
this
Yeah. Just
stupid.
chop it right off.
Yeah, exactly. I would say. Do you have any?
um, I've done a couple things, but we had this event in BC. It was called Brewery and the Beast, and there are a couple different events. But I went to it one year working at it, and I went to it one year as a guest. The year I went as a guest, I don't remember all of it because I drank so much and ate so much
Yeah.
that we ended up getting a limo back home, and I passed out in the limo and then ended up like stumbling back into my place and had to go to
Where'd the
work
limo come from?
with a very back hangover the next day. I went with my bosses, and we got a limo to take us home from the event because it was downtown and it was like going through traffic or whatever. But I think I drank something like 40 beers and then went on to the hard booth after. And I was like, and then I worked the next morning. So it was like just a terrible fucking thing. But
Jesus.
I worked it the first year I went to, and it was super cool where we had
Mm.
an entire side of beef hanging in a reefer truck. And we took
Wow.
the back door off the reefer truck and just had a plexiglass wall with a hole cut into it. And we had a meat grinder on our side, and it went out the hole and it ground into a big tub. And the chefs had this massive flat top, and they were just making smash burgers for
Mm.
1,500 people. So we were chopping straight from carcass, throwing through the grinder, and just fresh ground burger on this flat top. It was like, I don't know,
Wow.
35 degrees out. It was fucking cooking. And I had a lineup of
Mm.
like 400 people to this truck because they were like, oh my God, we're watching these people cut up a whole beef. And it
Mm.
was super cool. I got to go with my boss, and the two of us were just sitting in the truck, like cranking music, having beers, slanging through this beef, like waving at people through the glass. I was like, I'm a celebrity.
Yeah, look at me go.
But it was a very cool event, and that was probably one of my favorite things where it was like this is an experience. Like you're just like on this big, like you're the center of attention, and you're just doing something that's super cool and fun. Like everybody else is doing like little sliders and this and that, and they've got their rotisserie, and they're on with a whole beef, just like slapping it, throwing it through the grinder, and like you're welcome, people.
That is fucking cool,
It
man.
was it was wicked cool. So I think that's probably one of my favorite events that I've ever been to or done. That was definitely like that was an icing on the cake.
Mm. That
Yeah,
is really fucking cool.
yeah,
There was did how like so what were you doing? So you had a side of beef. Were you
yeah.
keeping the ribeye and everything yourself, or you just like this is all paid for? We'll just mince ribeye, fill it.
Everything was minced. Yeah, everything went through. So it was like, yeah,
Wow.
it was crazy. And you're like, you're hurt, you're crying a little bit because you're like, this is triple A beef, like this is prime beef, like putting this through
Mm.
and throwing it in the grinder. But you're like, it's gonna make really good burgers.
The ribeye burgers, sirloin burgers. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do a little bit of the short rib, mix it with some sirloin, mix them together. Like you got it. It
oh,
was a good mix. And then that flat top was like they built. It was like a concrete square that they built. And they were shoveling coals and stuff into it, like a fire and everything, like a proper. They had
yeah.
I think it was like a 6 foot long flat top is what they had, and they had that thing stacked full of burgers for the entire day. Yeah,
Just pumping them out, pressing them, pumping.
yeah, slapping and pressing them like fresh ground throw some onion in there, cheese. They're just basic like onion, cheese, mustard, ketchup, pickle slice, and that was it. Just ship them out to people.
Keep it simple
Yeah,
and
and
just
that event was it's only for like 4 hours, and it was you bought a ticket for $100, and you were in for 4 hours, and you could eat and drink as much as you wanted while you were there. So it's unlimited. They had a brewery that put it on, and then you had about 100 to 150 restaurants or butcher shops or whatever that would
mm,
all have like a food truck or a little booth, and they were slinging just like a signature dish. So you
mm.
just spent 4 hours walking around eating samples from every restaurant in within like a 4 hour radius.
That's
It
a
was
cool
cool.
concept. That is
It's
really
super
cool.
cool. Yeah, so they do it on the West Coast. They do it in Vancouver Island. They do it on Vancouver. They do it in Alberta. Um, and I've talked to them. I've talked to the sponsors about trying to bring that over here on the East Coast. It's
Mm,
just it's a lot of sponsorship to get it somewhere. So eventually that'd be somewhere super cool to be able to bring something like that to here or to do
mm.
something. I mean, everyone does like Rib Fest and stuff like that, but that was like a true
Wings.
unique, like super cool thing. Everyone got to do our signature dish.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
4 hours isn't really enough to get 150 restaurant or samples unless you're just racing around.
yeah. You just pick and choose. What do I want to get to?
Mm.
And of course, you're drinking the whole time. So how much are you really tasting versus like I'm just eating and drinking. Um,
Yeah, I'm here for the
but
experience.
but they sold out a ticket. I think it was they would release like 1,500 or 2,000 tickets, and within 10 minutes they were all sold out every year because they do it like it's one day a year. And so it's like they crash their website every year because they sell 2,000 tickets in 10 minutes. It's great.
Fucking hell.
It's a crazy event. Yeah.
That is awesome. That is
Yeah,
good.
man.
That is good sales. That is good
Dude.
sales.
Yeah. Yeah. But so that was definitely one of the coolest events that I think I've ever been to.
Yeah. I feel like I was there now after hearing it.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what would you say like who has been like one of your biggest inspirations that keeps you going through like your life work and what kind of style like you've built yourself around?
Um, I don't know, man. I think I kind of have a cheesy one for this, and I would say like growing up, it was my dad. Because growing up, like every son kind of wants to like grow up to be like their dad.
Mm,
Um, and to me, to watch my dad like build a business and work and like support a family and stuff, that was definitely an inspiration. And then as you get older, I've tried to become like my own inspiration. I take inspiration from other people, so from people like you, from like the Brett Laws, from you know, um, from the Jared Standings, from um,
yeah.
the Butcher, from everybody, right? Like you try and take bits and pieces of what other guys have done and how you've seen them progress, and how you've seen them push the envelopes in different areas,
Mm,
and you take bits and pieces, or at least that's how I do. Is just like I like what you did here. I like this idea. I like this mentality, and so I try and bring those in. And so I would say I kind of pull inspiration from a lot of people. Um,
mm,
and this is what the great thing about the social media and stuff is where you can take snippets and you see things. I mean, you're only seeing a snapshot of it, so you don't see like this took me 10 years to get to this point. But it's cool to see, okay, well, that's possibly a goal or a benchmark, and then you try and hit that thing. And then so I would say for me it's I like to try and draw from as much as I can.
mm,
Um, and I really want to work to become an inspiration for other people, to become one of those people. And I know I'm not there yet, um,
mm.
but that's where I like to end up becoming, so that
Yeah.
I can be something for the next generation or for the next butcher coming up to say, oh well, I saw this thing he did, or, I like that.
Mm.
What about you? Like you would have been you would have been in the same kind of era that I grew up in, but
Yeah.
on the other side, right?
Yeah. How old are you? You're like 30.
I'll be 33 next week.
Wow, yeah. So I thought your birthday was coming on. See, I'll be 35 in October. So yeah, we're like 90s babies anyway. So we're older than fucking PlayStation. Thank you very much. Inspiration wise is a hard one because my inspiration really is the mental side of the game, really. And it's like, because I've had quite a bad history of like in my past, and it's like trying not to let those things, eat from me. And they used to eat away at me, and I used to drown a lot of it in drugs and alcohol, sex, drugs, rock and roll, essentially. So now when I've said to my wife, like, and I've done copious of hours and hours and hours and hours of therapy and heaps of other things to help better myself, with the inspiration I find kind of draws from like more like through people like you've said, so like your Brett Laws, your Brad Birkedal, Brent the Butcher as well, Lukey Rekovic. Yeah, but then it also comes. None of it is to do with my family at all. Like, I don't look at my stepdad or my mum, for instance, and go, those people I want to adapt to. I want to try and unlearn what they've taught me, and being able to give a platform to a lot of people like here and say, being the new generation of like nurturers, influencing people to come up through the ranks and do all these things and whatnot. Like, inspiration wise, it is very similar along the lines of you, but also not taking life very serious. Like, that's another way, because but like my daughter having open heart surgery, that was such a huge curveball, where it was just the fact, like, I built this place up and I worked extremely hard. I did 7 days. I was doing 100 hours. And then it's just overnight, your world changes, and you're like, oh, but that's not important anymore. But and then this little thing is more important to me, and it's not taking it too serious, but being kind to yourself as well is really, really one of the ones that I really enjoy doing the most. Is being kind to myself. Like, ooh, it might involve like having a beer, or having that sexy chocky bar that's sitting in the fridge going, you and me later, and you're like, yeah, of course, I'll see you. Yeah, oh, yeah, you and me, baby. I want you around my mouth. It's like it's doing things like that, but like not taking life so serious and really just talking is a big one, especially when it comes to work. Work is huge. Work is providing. What we do is very manual labor. It's but when we get home, it kind of really just melts, because we got family, and it's quite good. That's the best way I can put it, really.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that from the beginning, like listening to you and Luke have that podcast, like I knew about Luke before I knew about you, and so I followed him for a while, and I enjoyed his cutting and stuff. And then when I started listening to the podcast, hearing about your daughter and hearing the decision of you just, I'm going to switch gears immediately, shut shop, and like I take care of my family. That was such a level of respect for me to be like, you're a dad, and like as dad, I can see that, and it gave me a lot of admiration and respect for you, in the sense that like it didn't matter that he had the shop, that he built this thing, because there's a lot of people that would be like, oh well, like I'm still going to do this and do that or whatever. Like, you just instantly, no, this is what's important in my life, and you went for that, and huge props for that. And to me, that was like, I enjoyed listening to you guys, and it was fun, but that was the thing that I was like, oh holy shit, like this guy's on another level. And that instantly, like, kind of like a huge bromance for me, like to you, as in like, this is somebody that like you admire and that you respect, and that you like, that was very, very big for me. In your personality, that kind of won me over even more so than like, oh, just the funny butcher stuff and all that kind of stuff. That was something that I was like, man, this is a good guy. This is a gem.
No, I appreciate that, man. It's very kind words. It feels like a lifetime ago now, because like it was only 2.5 weeks ago that it was her first year of the open heart surgery, and the wife and I bought her this little bear, and it has like a stitch down the middle, and it has like a little love heart and everything, and she sleeps with it now. Like, even though we got like fucking every Jellycat toy that you could bloody think of,
Doesn't matter.
she takes this bear and sleeps with it now, and I'm just like, fucking A. But it's also like a whole year is gone. She's also 2.5 or two and a bit, and she also had open heart surgery, and it's a 1 year anniversary. And you're like, what is going on? But it's like I'm very pleased that I took the time away from butchery and focused on that. And I had
Yeah.
to like, it's not maintainable, you know, in like
No.
7 days, and also trying to hire people. I had a very similar experience with you, with Kevin and grating cheese and everything. When I was just like, I just got so tired of looking for people. I was just like, I'm just gonna go with this fella. Like,
Yeah.
go,
You're a
come on.
body. Yeah, you're a body.
Yeah, you're a
Kill
body.
yourself.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
knife, don't
yeah.
kill yourself. Don't kill me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. Here's a knife.
Yeah.
Don't don't hurt it. Don't hurt yourself
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
Mm.
Cut the meat, don't cut the me.
Yeah. But no, I appreciate those, mate. There really was like really kind words of you to say. It does feel like a lifetime ago, like when that actually happened.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, and it's amazing to hear those, like when we were first talking about, like, oh, my daughter's 2 and she does this, and it's they say no, blah blah. But it's funny because so many people take those things for granted, of like all that stuff, and having gone through what you've gone through, like those are the moments, those are the precious things. That's like what you cherish and what you enjoy, and the fact that we have made this and we have done this and we have gotten this
Mm.
far and made it through this, and she is a little trooper, and like, you bet you can say no 100%. You bet I'll change your diaper, like like, shit yourself again, go ahead, I'll do
Yeah, exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that's on the inside, that's what makes you you, and be able to function, because it's like, you know what, she's here and I'm here with her, and
Mm.
that's just beautiful.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth it. And like I'm saying to you as well, like that, Armour meats is your little baby now, because yours are at home, safe and sound. Now you've got this new nest, and it's only
Yeah.
2.5 months, but you gotta just take a breather sometimes, man, and just go, yeah, it seems a bit quiet today, but that means I can get blank done. I can get blank done, utilizing, but taking a breath, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I didn't. I was 6 months deep, and I was like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
What happened?
And you lose that time, and it's like, I don't even
Mm,
remember what happened in the last 6 months. I just know that, like, I just worked,
yeah,
but I don't remember any of the good stuff. Yeah.
yeah. I remember some of the beef that came through. I had some stonking beef, but those are only small snippets of the 17-hour days that I fucking did,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, I remember that, or having that conversation, but then that's it. You're just like, oh, I didn't stop and smell the roses per se, where
Yeah.
you're in that moment now where it's very critical, where you just, and be kind to yourself and just not fucking go hammer and tong on the poor bitch.
Go, go, go. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's good and bad. There's always good and bad times in business, but there's
Mm.
been some roller coaster times, and I'm trying to be more present, and I'm trying to be more cautious, and not, like, obviously stabbing myself made me take some time. I took about 12 hours, and then I went back to work.
Yeah, that was bullshit. That was really fucking irresponsible.
It was the doctor was stitching me up, and he was like looking at my leg like, how did you not hit this artery? Like, he's like, are you
Mm.
sure you I was like, you're in there, dude, like, you should be able to tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
By
didn't
the
like
way,
when I
is
was
your
like,
name
so
Kevin?
yeah. You're the guy, you are good with knives. um yeah, no, I just dumb stuff, right? Like, and I don't know, my wife gets me all the time, where it's like, you have to come home, like, you still have to come home. And the last job I had before this place is, I almost didn't come home one day, and that was where it was like, okay, I have to change things, because I got in a pen with 3,000-pound bulls. And I was the last man standing in there, but I was beat to shit. I got hit and rammed and pinched and trampled, and I had bulls hop gates on me. I had the last bull I put down. He ripped the support beam out of the wall, which held 3 gates. So I was out in an open pen with this thing after he had beat the shit out of me for 2 hours. And I got trampled and head butted, and I got crushed in gates, and I got crushed under the bull. Um, it was a wild time.
Mm.
And I played cowboy one too many times, and I was beaten and bloodied, and I thought I broke both my hands, and I thought I cracked ribs, and I was all fucked up, and I missed getting my kids from daycare, and my wife got called. It was like, nobody's here. Like, you got to come get the kids. She couldn't get a hold of me because I was too busy getting my ass handed to me in a pen.
Mm.
Um, and I eventually got to got it done, got the animal down, and then left. And and I called her on the way home, and I couldn't talk because I crushed my chest and stuff. And I got home, and I was covered in blood, like head to toe, covered in blood. And I just collapsed on the ground. And my kids watched me open the door and collapse on the ground, covered in blood, and I couldn't talk. And it was like, Dad's gonna die. And I just so every time, like every once in a while, my son's like, Dad, don't go in with the animals anymore. And I'm like, oh man, like he's gonna remember that. Like, oh shit. Um,
Because you had a
and
recent escape, didn't you?
yeah, I worked on my cardio. I had one that we were getting. He didn't want to get out of the trailer, and I tried to get him out of the trailer, and I was mucking about for about an hour trying to get him out of the trailer. I was in there with him, and he was trying to kick me around, and I tried to get him out, and then I got him out of the trailer, and I closed the trailer door, and I tried to get him through the chute into the pen, and he turned around, and he was trying to headbutt me, and I was trying to push him back, and I left like a little 6-inch gap between the building and the trailer, and he pushed that trailer aside like a tin can, and he got out into the parking lot. And then I was like, oh shit, like I gotta get him back somewhere. Like, what, how am I gonna get him? So there's a parking lot out this way, and there's houses that way, and there's a grain field out that way. So I'm like, I'm gonna fucking shoo him into the grain field because I
Yeah.
can't get him back in the building. So I chased him around the grain field. And it was a zigzag for about 4 hours. We were back and forth and back and forth, and I'm in overalls and cowboy boots because I'm getting ready to do the slaughter. Um, and he was headbutting me and bashing into me, and so he'd headbutt me, and I'd give him a fucking wallop, and then he'd bash into back into him, and then he'd zag that way, and he started getting tired, and I started getting tired, and I was like, oh man, like I don't have the cardio for this shit. Like the grain's up to my chest. I'm running through the grain field. This
Yeah,
thing's
right.
1,500 pounds, and I'm like, I was running down the field, and I got farther and farther and farther, and I just went, what am I going to do with this thing? Like, I have nothing on me to stop him. I'm like, I'm going to catch up to him, and then what am I like? I can't hold him.
Gouge
I
his
have
eyes
no,
out.
like, I can't, like, I don't have a knife. I don't have a gun. Like,
Mm.
I can't pop him. I can't do nothing. So I'm like, what am I running for? So I'm like running and on the phone, like, hey guys, does anybody have a gun? Like, you guys got a plan? What the fuck are we doing with this thing? And they're like, just keep him there. And I was like, what do you mean keep him here? Like, what? So eventually he got tired, and I got him turned around enough times, and he got close back to the shop, and then we had to pop him in the field and carry him in with a trailer. But yeah,
Mm.
so that was in front of my boss. So that was a great first 4 hours of the day. That was about 2 weeks after I got back from my leg injury, so I really shouldn't have been running.
Yeah, not probably shouldn't have been running. But
So
when you
I had
sent me that, when you sent me the videos, like this is how long I ran for, and I was like, "What the
yeah,
fuck are you doing running around in the field?" And then you sent me the video, like,
yeah,
so this motherfucker got out of the trailer, and he just
and that
he got into the field.
that photo of the field doesn't do justice how far I ran, and I was like, oh my
No.
god, it was cross country, cross country. Um, Yeah, and I that cut in my leg, man, that had like a baseball sized lump in it for
Mm.
like 3 weeks, and it was like, well, it could be an abscess or it could be a hernia. We're not sure, so just keep an eye on it. Maybe you got to get it drained, maybe you don't. And then when I was running for those 4 hours in the field, I just felt it going boom, 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 and I was like, oh, this is not good, man. Like, this is not good.
That's
I've
not
done
good.
some I've some done dumb shit in my life, and I've done some cowboy moves, but this one's gonna cause some troubles.
Mm. You're very lucky you didn't hit that artery, like Kevin said.
Like Kevin said.
Dr.
Yeah,
Kevin.
I was uh, I was lucky that day because I
Mm.
hit it, and it's like, oh, this isn't good. I
No.
didn't have a big kid around. We had customers in the store, so the only other employee that was here was helping the customers, and I'm like, yo, I'm not
Mm.
gonna. I like fucked off to go to the other room. But I don't do well with blood, ironically enough. Like human blood, I don't do. My blood, I don't do well with. So when I get gashed open, I like I'm like, I can do well enough to get myself stopped or like held well enough to get me to the doctors, but like I don't do
Mhm.
needles and I don't do my own
No,
blood. I know it's weird, hypocritical, but it's like usually when you see your own blood, it's like
it's
things
different.
aren't good. Things
It's
aren't good.
different. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's different when it's like your blood, human blood, whatever. You're like, something's fucked up here. I'm like, you can't deal with it. Especially
yeah.
needles as well, man. I can't do needles. Like,
No,
exactly,
no, I
exactly the
don't. I
same.
don't do it. Ugh, ugh.
But
So,
animal blood.
oh yeah, I'm on the kill floor eating sandwiches. Like I'm eating an
Yeah,
apple while my other arm's like right up there. I don't
yeah.
care. I don't care.
No,
Um, blood is
I'm not.
nature's gravy, my friend.
You're not wrong, actually. It keeps you young. You have a cup of that in the morning. First kill, bosh.
There you
That's
go. The
why we
day
look
is
so
set.
good. Yeah.
It's a math.
Yeah. We're doing like a Matt Christensen, just yeah, blessed me. Welcome to the game. Oh
Yeah,
man.
I'm not quite on the level of Matt, but he's a beast, man. He's a whole nother creature.
Yeah. He last week, uh, Mr. Waters, he was like, "Oh yes, Matt Richardson. Oh, he's a delight." And I was like, "I love him." And we spoke about like doing the slaughter over there, and then slaughter with you there in like Canada as well. It's like it's great process. Like Mr. Waters says, it's a great process from seeing like life to death, and then what you can use out of this carcass and doing these things.
Yeah,
A lot of people lose that perspective. You can't dress up murder. Let's face facts.
yeah,
But
yeah.
we're
But I,
utilizing it, and it's sustainable.
and I think the mentality I have is like that's not my favorite part of the job. It's part
No.
of the job, and it gives me appreciation for the rest of it.
Mm,
Um, but the way I've always looked at it is like I'm glad it's me
mm.
because I like animals, I care for animals, and I want to do it as quickly and humanely as possible and do the best job I can to get the best yield, appreciate the animal and its whole. Because there are guys out there that just like to kill things. Like
Yeah,
there are guys that work in slaughterhouses and they're like, I want to kill this thing, and they just like shoot it and they don't care, and it's like and you hate to see it, but there are people just like there are butchers out there that are like, I don't care if the steak's good or not. Like
mm,
here's your door wedge, and like see you later. It's a clock in, clock out. They don't care. And so the
yeah,
way I look is like, I'm glad that I'm giving the respect that it should to this, and I'm going to be the one doing it because I'm going to care and I'm going to do a good job doing it.
yeah. 'Cause it's
Yeah,
not clocking in or clocking out anymore. It's a lifestyle now,
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
perfecting that lifestyle, and it's a second love as well. We've got our wives and kids. That's family love. We've also got work love, and we want to do 110%.
Yeah,
And what you're doing is the correct way and the right attitude, in my professional opinion. It
thank
might not
you.
mean much, but it
Ready,
counts.
okay, ready.
Like that hot chocolate in the fucking fridge, baby. I want some of that. Right. I've absolutely loved this, mate. This has been fucking incredible. We've been here for 2 hours now.
It's been wonderful. Oh, geez, yeah.
Yeah. This is incredible. Should we get over some aggress questions?
Okay.
All right. Are you ready?
All right,
Question one.
fire. Yep.
What's a belief or habit that's been a key to your success?
Um, Nothing is beneath you. Try harder, and the big one is just learn. Always try and learn.
Mm.
You're always learning. You're always trying to improve.
Mm. No, 100%. That's really good.
Yep.
And that's applied to where you are now.
Yep.
Like you keeping those, yeah, that's brilliant. I
Yeah.
really
There's
like that.
there's always something new to learn. Like you're never going to find the end of it.
Education is never ending. Mm,
Yep.
it is. It's really good. Question two: three guests to invite to dinner, dead or alive. Who are they and why?
Um. So the first one's going to be my grandpa, my dad's dad.
Mm,
Late. So he passed when I was like 15. But him and I got along real well.
mm,
Like he was old school Norwegian farm boy, was a fisherman, used to have the best stories, best fishing stories. I had a good laugh with him. He had a huge sweet tooth, and I think that's where I got it from. He used to sneak me Nanaimo bars all the time, so that was a good time. But
Nice.
uh, yeah, I would say my grandpa. Uh, Maybe like somebody like Jim Carrey, because growing up, I always loved Jim Carrey movies. Always very funny. I used to
Mm,
try and be a comedian all the time. I very like he was one of the ones that I tried to emulate all the time.
mm.
So that would be a hoot. Would be good. And he's kind of like a little out there. So like he's got some weird kind of like perceptions on
Outlooks.
faith, but kind
Mm.
of interesting. So I think that would be kind of a good mix. And three, I think maybe like younger Brad. Like if I could like go back and pick like 10-year-old Brad and bring him to dinner and be like, hey man, things worked out. They're okay. I
What about like first like supermarket cutter Brad and say
no like
this?
but before like I think before then I think
Mm,
like supermarket cutter Brad would be like, oh okay, like what I kill animals and I cut the whole thing. That would be cool, but like I've been I've been through some shit in my life.
mm,
Stuff that I don't always talk about. And, and I'm sure you understand too, where there are points in your life that you never thought you would have lived past, or there are
mm,
points in your life that you never wanted to live past. Um, and I think going back to being like a kid and being like, hey man, like you made it through these things, or you made it through that, or this was bad, but you became better for it, or like you're the guy who takes care of people, or you're the guy like I don't know. I think it's just one of those things where you give your younger self encouragement to go through all those things and to like sit and have dinner and just be like, ask me questions, it's okay, or like
mm.
tell you that like, yeah, you did turn out to be okay, or like you did make this person proud or whatever. Like, because I had a lot of family members and a lot of friends pass when I was in my teenage years,
Mm.
so you always like like my grandpa and stuff like you always like I wonder what they would think of me now. Like, like would they be happy? Would they be proud? Or, I chose to do this career instead of this career. And
Look where it's
yeah,
taken you and what friends you have around the world and all these other things. Like, yeah, I think 10-year-old Brad would be a good shout. I was just
yeah.
selfishly thinking of like the beginning to
The
the you
beginning of my
now.
butcher career, like, hey,
Yeah.
you were going to be a teacher and you became a butcher, and don't worry, it worked out.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I was
Yeah,
selfishly thinking about that, but there's the other aspect of the 10-year-old you that everything's going to be a okay, baby. You may have died a few times nearly. A few close calls here and there. But hey,
couple of close calls.
the party don't stop.
Yeah, you've almost been shot, but you're okay.
You'll get that. Don't worry. um, question three. What's your favorite quote?
um, we're gonna need a bigger boat. So, like the movie Jaws.
Yeah, all right.
It's like we're gonna need a big boat. I think that's one of my top movies, like one of my favorite movies, and that and Gladiator are definitely on the top there. But I think that quote always reminds me of like, man, this is fucked up, but like we can do it. Like we're gonna do it. Like there's this big ominous thing, and it's like I got it. I'm gonna take it on. Like I'm the guy. I can take care of that. So it's just one of those things. And then the scene where they're all getting drunk and sharing their stories and stuff like that. I've always like to me that's just one of those you love when you can have that kind of conversation with somebody. And you want to have that one day when I grow up and my kids are growing up. I want to like sit at the table and have that funny conversation with my son and my daughter about like, oh, like this injury's from here and this is from here, and then like that one like, well, this crazy girl I dated, like,
Stab me with a corkscrew.
yeah, yeah. So it's just I don't know. It's one of those. That movie is just one of those things where it's like it's stuck in your head, and then it's that nostalgia. But I think
Yeah.
that quote speaks to me about how there's always going to be that big bad thing that you have to take care of, and you're going to be the guy to do it. And
Mm.
not up or shut up. Like get that boat, come back with a bigger boat, and you're gonna do it, right?
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah,
brilliant, man. That's a really good way of looking at it as well.
yeah.
That's brilliant. I would say because you said Jim Carrey earlier for dinner, like we were quoting Ace Ventura and Dumb and Dumber the
Yeah,
other weekend, just like
bumblebee tuna.
yeah, Bumblebee Tuna.
Your balls are like,
Yeah, so many quotes, and we were talking about that as well. And because I added back in the three guests for dinner, dead or alive, because it's a brilliant idea, and everyone's always different. But just sitting
yeah,
there, fucking, just quoting Jim Carrey for I don't know how long. It would have been half the day because it just escalated from there and there, and just it was easy. And I would
yeah,
say Ace Ventura is definitely one of the best movies of all time. And
yes,
Jaws. Definitely Jaws. Like, just nostalgia, great, fun, easy watch.
yep,
Jaws,
yeah.
still scared of the water. Been swimming with sharks personally. Still scared of the water. Don't know. Don't know how it works.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're from Australia, so like
Mm.
sharks in the water is better than taking it.
Yeah, but it's like you still go, oh, I'm going to go to the beach, and you're like, do I need a boat? Do I need a
You know,
bigger boat?
push
Hang
somebody
on.
else in first.
Hang on. I've
Give
been
it a
swimming
stack.
with, I've been swimming with tiger sharks, bull sharks, hammerhead sharks, pilot whales, humpback whales, and all that. And like, I've done that.
No,
But then it's like, every time you go to the beach, it's like, dun, 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 dun. That's all you hear. And
and
it's just like, it sits in your
my
head.
my bucket list would be to go shark wrangling.
Yo.
I want to do that. You get on a boat and you just toss a big fucking meat hook in the ocean and you pull those great whites in.
Have you ever
That's
done
before
tuna
I die.
fishing before?
Not tuna fishing, but
Mm.
I'd love to do that. Go down to
Mm.
like Boston and go tuna fishing off the coast there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But shark wrangling is one of those like it's like running with the bulls. It's like man against nature. Like I just trying to prove that you're manly and like just a test of like can I do it kind of thing. Yeah,
That is a really good point. Yeah, but like I'll put cage diving up there, with, like running with the bulls, because you're like,
yeah,
on the same playing field as them, and fucking I don't know how many people die at least one a year in those bull
yeah.
running. Yeah, at least one a year, and
Well, I mean,
people
I
get
do bull runnings all the
fucked.
time here, so
Yeah, well, you got your own experience. You don't need to. You got plenty of
yeah,
experience. You got plenty of it when you come to Spain, mate, and run with the bulls. You're like, this is easy work.
just start slapping them around.
Yeah, you fucking bitch. little European bull. What are you, 700? Get out of here. uh, question 4. What question do you wish more people asked you?
um, I don't know, man. I think that was when you. That's a tough one.
Mm,
Because to me, it's not like I think I have all this sage advice that I'm the guy that people come to ask questions. Um, but maybe just like on a sappy note, maybe like, hey, do you have a minute or something? Like
mm,
I'd rather people come to me and just ask for help
mm,
because I like making sure people are okay and I like being able to help people. And like I love it when buddies will be like, hey man, do you have a minute? I just need to vent. And
mm,
I think maybe that's the question where it's like, do you have a sec to talk?
mm,
Because to me, that's being somebody who's trusted to be able to say, hey, like I need to just vent to you, or like I need to like get your perspective or whatever. Like you're the guy I come to. I like being able to help with that.
mm. No, I like that one. I think that question is always the hard one, like especially out of those 5. I do like the sappy kind of side because it's true, it's raw.
Yeah.
It's nice as well. Like, how are you?
Yeah.
Simple, easy, effective. How are you?
Oh, I don't
How
like when
are you?
people yeah, when people ask you how are you real, I'm like, no man, don't do that. Don't
No,
do that.
we'll be here all
I'm
week.
okay. Yeah, yeah. I'm okay. Don't ask me how I am. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
it's like that what is that like that gif of the kid that's like, yeah, and then he just starts crying.
Yeah. That's a good meme, that. That's brilliant. No, I like that. Question 4. It's a good one. It's a good opener for conversation as well. And it gets you thinking as well. It's just like, oh yeah. It's good fun. Right, last question, my friend, and it's
Yep.
so important. Are aliens real?
Have to be.
Mm.
They have to be. I don't know. Like, I don't. They got you can't think that out of the entire universe and all the stuff going on that there can't be something else. Like, yes, there are anomalies in life, but like there's got to be other forms. Like, they might not be the Green Martian that we all think or ET, but there's got to be something out there.
Yeah,
It'd be
100%.
depressing to think that there would be nothing else out there.
Mm. No, yeah, very ignorant. You'd be,
Yeah,
it's a good one. I like that.
I don't know. I think
It,
it would
is
be
it a yes?
it would be very cool to see another alien form. Maybe it's hopeful.
When you come to the UK, mate, there's plenty of them here.
No, that's like a Walmart. You go to it's a whole nother world.
Oh, I forgot about Walmart as well and the whole
You
greens.
got to. They used to have a website called People's of Walmart, and it was just like all sorts of like odd pods, and like you would just see like all the weird people that they would find. It was mostly in the States, but like all the Walmarts there and the odd people. That was something growing up as a teenager. It was like one of the websites you went to, the People's of Walmart.
Nice. Is it not around anymore?
I don't. If you think I got time to look people of Walmart,
That's what I do in my spare time.
yeah, that's why I don't sleep.
Yeah, it's either that or crying. So I chose Walmart.
I'd rather cry laughing than.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna search this when we're done. I'm gonna see if it's still up there. That would fucking be awesome.
You're gonna send me pictures and be like, "Is this real?"
Yeah. You know that you can do the screen share, and I'll be like, "What is going on?"
I'm still trying to find Kevin.
Oh man, this has been a fucking great time. I'm so pleased you came on, man.
Thank you very much for having me. This has been amazing. I really appreciate it, and thanks for taking the time to chat with little old me.
No, of course, anytime. No, you're still at work. I'm at home, and
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll get there.
No,
We'll get there. I got time for dinner. I'll get home, cook dinner.
Yeah. No, brilliant, man. I thank you so much for coming on. We've done over 2 hours.
Jesus. Jesus.
Last time I looked, it was like 7 minutes in, and then I looked and it was like nearly 2 hours. I was like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, you had to turn lights on. It got dark out.
Yeah. Yeah. It did.
That was our point of like, this is going on for a while.
Yeah, right. I was just like, fucking hell, it's like gone dark. I better turn a light on because, people will be like, what's going on with that?
It's dark in there. What's he doing?
Oh, I see it. I see it. Right. This has been so good, man.
All right.
Thank you so much. Please plug and promote the shop as well before we leave, and yourself.
Yeah, you bet. I'll send it up. Yep. Armour Meats, BigBirk, Brad, me, and then Birdshill Wagyu, the farm.
Yeah, good. I
Thanks,
didn't
bud.
think we covered that, but I just thought you got to. Right.
That's fine. Well,
Right. I'll see you soon.
All right.
See you, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye now.
Sam.